Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, it's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
This week, in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, what appears to be a tragic tale of a person giving up on life is actually a most diabolical plot to murder an innocent person with a very unique weapon and get everything they had. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another crazy edition of Small Town Murder. We have a really wild one today. A murderer who just, you don't know what is going on in this person's head, and it is insane. So we will get to all that and more. First of all, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets for live shows. If you want them, get them right now. Our next batch here is in May. We have St. Louis at the pageant, and we have Chicago at the Riviera. St. Louis is almost sold out. I mean, few tickets left to that, and Chicago is getting close too. So get your tickets right now. San Diego, just about sold out. Madison, Grand Rapids, Portland. These are all later on in the year. So DC, Seattle, Philly, all these shows. Philly's almost sold out too. Get your tickets right now if you want to go to a Small Town Murder live show is what we're saying. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Can't wait to see you out there. We loved Pittsburgh and Columbus. Thank you so much for coming out. We had a great time, and the crowds were awesome, and just so much fun in the Midwest. As cold and nasty and crappy and gray as it was still a good time. and we didn't mind it at all. So windy in Columbus. Also, listen to our other two shows, Crime in Sports, which we're doing a special series on Evel Knievel right now. You want to hear the craziest story you've ever heard? Check that out. Also, Your Stupid Opinions for the funniest reviews out there. And if you listen to all that, you want more, Patreon we have for you.
There you go.
Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get everything, a whole, immediately upon subscription, hundreds of back episodes of bonus stuff you've never heard before. New ones every other week, including this week. You get one Crime in Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you get it all. For Crime in Sports this week, it's Disaster Potpourri.
Yes.
We've done ballooning disasters, amusement park disasters, industrial disasters. We're going to mix it all up this week and have a disaster potpourri. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about psychics that actually succeeded.
Okay.
We're always talking about psychics doing terrible jobs, and sometimes they found bodies and stuff, and we'll find out if it was, really a psychic thing or whatever. We'll look into it, and we'll figure out psychics that actually succeeded. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports, and you get a shout-out at the end of the show, too.
For sure.
Jimmy will mess your name all up, even though he would love to read it correctly. Disclaimer time. This is a comedy show.
Right.
We're comedians. Also, there's going to be murder. That's how this works. See, here's how we do it. We don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why is that, James?
Because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. That's how that goes here. It's very easy. We think it's actually a little more tasteful to try to put some humor in around it. Nothing funny about the actual murder, but we've had, when it's usually, I think I can get away with this, is right away a pretty funny thought. For regular people, for the most part, who can't get away with it. So that's how that goes here. So if you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together, I don't know, we might not be for you, but we might be for you. You want to check it out and make sure. So either way, no complaining later. But for the rest of you that want to hear a crazy story, we have this for you. And I think it's time. Let's all sit back. Let's all clear the lungs, arms to the sky, and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody.
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Here we go.
We are going to Pewaukee, Wisconsin. And that's how it's said. It's P-E and then walkie, like Milwaukee, W-A-U-K-E-E. Pewaukee. It's not Pewaukee. It's Pewaukee. I don't know why they had to turn their town name into a strange sexual act, but they've done it.
Whatever.
It's strange. It is just outside Milwaukee, to the west of Milwaukee. It's about 20 minutes to Milwaukee if you want to do that. About an hour and 40 down to Chicago, and 2 hours and 20 minutes to our last Wisconsin episode in Tomah, Wisconsin, which was Dark Swamp Death. I remember that one. There was death in the swamp. It was nasty.
Sure.
This is in Waukesha County. Area code 262. Now, a little bit of history of this town. The city of Pewaukee wasn't actually incorporated until 1999.
Really?
But there's been people here forever here. They used to have a village of Pewaukee, and they had other shit, and they established it there. The town originally, the village, was, I guess, approved in 1840 or something, and it grew and settlers started to come, and I guess it was a good farming community. And there's a big lake here, too, Pewaukee Lake. So this is considered like a different lifestyle than Milwaukee completely. This is like the burbs, and there's a lake, and it's like, much more like an outdoor kind of not even a suburban. It's even more than that. It's interesting here. There's a clear spring lake there, which will make things nice, and that's ideal for all sorts of shit. They used for commercial use. They got ice out of it back in the day.
Okay, so one of these ice towns that delivered the ice, like they would ship it?
It was one of the major industries of Pewaukee was icing, getting ice. They had ice houses, and they had the Armor Meat Company also had ice houses.
Yeah. Oh.
So they'd have that, and it became one of the major suppliers of ice to southeastern Wisconsin. It was a big deal. A couple reviews of this town here. 5 stars. Here's one.
Yeah.
I believe that Pewaukee is a very family-friendly area with lots of activities. I believe that. She made it sound like it was something you have to...
They've convinced me.
I have faith in that. That's the thing. You can just look. One of the big attractions to Pewaukee is the downtown area that has some cute shops, is on the water, and hosts a variety of events throughout the year, and then in parentheses, ski shows, etc.
Right.
So
ski
shows. Watch other people ski, not you.
May as well. Yeah.
3 stars. I live in an apartment complex in Pewaukee. I've lived there for 2 years and have enjoyed my time in the area. It's a good place to live where everything I need is a small drive away. It gives me the ability to be able to get to my job in a short amount of time, but also the distance where I can retreat to home.
Yeah,
sweet
get
spot.
Away from all of it.
Yeah,
and forget.
Yeah, who the hell? People that live across the street from their job is crazy to me.
Ooh.
You just look out and see it all the time. Ugh.
That'd be looming and daunting.
That's horrifying. The area and people have treated me kindly. And then finally, 2 stars. Pewaukee is just okay. There's not much to do, in my opinion. You must not like lake activities.
He doesn't believe it.
Not a big laker here. I ended up finding myself just hanging around Walmart or Meijer. That's like a food store.
Yeah. Well, it's Meijer's like a...
Or everything. Yeah, I think it's another like a Target.
A Midwest market. Yeah.
Yeah, with friends as something to do. Yeah, that's you're in a boring place when you're like, I guess we'll just walk around Walmart. Let's go. Yeah, that's rough.
Let's go through the Walmart and stand in the weed whacker section.
See if they get any new lures in the fishing section. Like, what else do you do? People in Pewaukee are also very judgmental about situations and don't accommodate well for lower class citizens. They don't like the poor, and they're very judgmental. Lower class. People in this town, 15,589 people. So pretty small to be that close to Milwaukee. I mean, it's 20 minutes outside of Milwaukee. More females than males. Median age is slightly above the average. It's 44. It's 38 in the rest of the country. But most of that is because this is it's an expensive place.
Oh.
It's not a place you move when you're, 23 and get a starter house. This is you have 2 kids and you've been saving up or whatever, and then you move out to the burbs here. 69% of the people here are married, which is...
Oh, boy.
It's 50-50 in the rest of the country. That is wild. Way out of whack here. The single with children here, 6.9%, which is about as low as we've ever seen in a town that has more than 200 people in it. So super, super low. Race of this town, 87.9% white, 0.8% black, 3.4% Asian, and 4.7% Hispanic. 61% of the people here are religious. A lot of religion here. And the highest one, oddly enough, is Catholic.
Really?
It is 30% Catholic here. Which
in the Midwest,
some of these
Wisconsin,
some of those pockets, and then 15% Lutheran after that. The unemployment rate is low here. A lot of employment opportunities apparently. So that's low. I mean, Milwaukee's right there too. So drive 20 minutes, and go somewhere. Median household income is high in this area.
How so?
It is median household income. The rest of the country, it's about $69,000. Here it is $110,269.
Thriving.
Doing great out here in the burbs of Milwaukee. That's not bad at all. And the cost of living, 100 is regular. Here it's 107. So it's not that out of whack.
Yeah.
The highest thing is the home costs. This is a place where they're building houses as fast as people are moving into them.
Is that right?
So, there's hardly anything for sale, and what is for sale is new construction for the most part, because it is just people are coming, and it was a very small town before this, so we'll talk about that. Median home cost. Yeah, median home cost is $405,500.
Fucking gee.
Which seems excessive for, suburban Milwaukee. I guess the lake is, I don't know, an attraction, I guess. Either way, if we've convinced you...
There we go.
To move from wherever you are to suburban Milwaukee, we have for you the Pewaukee, Wisconsin Real Estate Report. The average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,320, which is above the national average, but not that far above the national average. And there are apartment complexes here.
Really?
Yeah. That one person lived in an apartment complex for 2 years in the review. I found it. There's 10 things for sale in the entire town, by the way. I found a 0.4 acre lot.
Okay.
Nothing special, just a cleared lot in looks like it's going to be a future neighborhood here.
Sure.
Nothing special, $183,990.
For half an acre, it's almost $200,000.
Patch of grass with nothing. I mean, nothing on it. It's just grass. Here's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, T-bowl for all your beeholes, I guess. 1,886 square foot. condo. This is a condo. It is a big house with doors on opposite sides that you split the house with somebody else. This place is full of carpeting. I mean, it hasn't been redone in a long time. They love warmth. Yeah. Nobody does wall-to-wall carpets really anymore.
It's pretty rare.
When you see that, you go, "Oh, this was in a while. This has been in a while, probably." A lot of carpeting.
That's not been a selling point, a selling feature that turned anybody on for quite some time.
No, now it's like, oh, I got to rip that carpeting up because I don't want
wall-to-wall
to live on other people's
job
funk
in this house.
Yeah, I don't want to live on other people's disgusting,
it's gross,
funky shit. No, rip that up. At least you can, scour a carpet, I guess, or a floor. This house is $390,000.
Golly.
It's not even a house. You know what I mean? Have your own property. No, and then here's a new house. This is brand new construction. There's no lawn in or anything yet. It's all dirt. Okay. 5 bedrooms, 6 bath. So D-bowl for all your B-holes.
Surplus.
4,489 square feet on 0.63 acres.
Okay.
2-story. So, nice house. It's clean, obviously. It's brand new. It's clean. It looks good. It's fine. It's not a mansion. I mean, it's a big giant house, but it doesn't.
House, yeah.
It's not like you look at it and go, "Oh man, you are killing it." Person who's living there is really doing great. It's just like a nice big house. $1,314,900 for that. They are out.
$1.3 million.
Out of their fucking minds. I'm going to say that right now.
20 minutes outside of Milwaukee.
To live in a town with the word P in it. I don't think so. So things to do. Oh, people from here, by the way. J.J. Watt is from here. This is his hometown.
And TJ then, right?
I maybe, unless they sent him away when he was when he was younger. I don't know.
The Watt family, yeah.
That's where they're from.
Pewaukee?
Pewaukee, yeah. They made a big deal during one of the Super Bowls he was in there in Texas. They went to his hometown of Pewaukee. I watched a video.
Really?
Oh, yeah. To talk about J.J. Watt.
Should have told this story.
Shit. So things to do here. The Lake Country Fall Fest. Lake Country Fall Fest or Harvest Fest, depending on which thing you see it in, but it's the same thing. Will be held on the grounds of the Clark House Museum. This year's family-friendly event, this is the most boring thing to do we've ever covered, will continue to emphasize the skills and crafts from years gone by. Old world Pewaukee.
Okay. Antiquated, obsolete bullshit. We're going to celebrate it.
Chip ice from the lake, I guess. This event is on the grounds of the Clark House Museum, features old-time crafts and hands-on activities, weaving, a blacksmith, carving, butter churning, corn shelling, and much more.
When butter churning is your activity,
that's it.
You really have nothing happening.
Come by for some old-timey labor? Like, that's what this is. Jesus.
I saw a video of an old lady butter churning online recently, and it essentially just looks like she's giving a really great hand job.
Those butter churning women would be those butter churning women would give the most amazing hand jobs ever, because they would, first of all,
they're
iron
really good
grip.
at it.
They're never going to be like, "Oh, my arm's getting tired." You've been churning all day. Your arm is like, you'll have a Popeye forearm probably
just
from that
close
shit.
your eyes and don't look at who's doing it.
Yeah. It'll be an old gray lady with a bonnet on. That's why. There's also a genealogist, Marilyn Hagerstrand, will be there. So
what is she doing?
Helps you find your family tree. That's awful. Now, so you've been bored shitless over it.
Bored to bits.
You've watched an old lady churn butter, and you need to rock a little bit. What you do is you head on over to Summerfest. That's where it's at.
Yeah,
Never mind Harvest Fest.
there.
That's bullshit. Summerfest is where it is they call it like the biggest gathering of bands and all this type of shit. Yeah, in the Midwest.
In
Wisconsin? Let's go down their lineup of who they have.
Yeah.
And
Who do you got?
I missed some of the people, but this is a highlight reel here. Let's see. Hoser?
Okay.
With a Z?
Hosier. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the guy that used to be somebody we used to know.
Oh, okay. Gigi Perez.
Okay.
Tiny Habits which sounds like I just do a little bit of heroin once in a while, but not all the time. Just a drop.
Coke on Saturday.
Yes, I'm a weekender. That's how it is. Lainey Wilson, who looks exactly as she sounds, blonde lady with a cowboy hat. You know what that's going to be.
I know what she is.
Benson Boone, who, again, looks exactly as you'd expect him to look.
You betcha.
The Killers will be there. The Isley Brothers will be there.
What?
Are all of them alive? How many are left, guys? Let's be honest.
There's got to be 2 left.
There's got to be Isley cousins mixed in at this point, right?
Isley, they got different.
Look, we need to get 4. That's the act, all right? So you have a nephew.
Wallace's in there.
Yeah, the nephew or somebody we can get.
They don't even have an Isley last name anymore.
Oh,
so
God.
far down the family tree.
Fabulous will be there. Remember we did his in Crime and Sports. We talked about his real name and all that, which was hilarious. Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah.
Okay. Genuine will be there.
Yeah. What the fuck is this?
Bone Thugs and Harmony will be there. Whoever's left out of that group. Maybe them and the Isley Brothers should combine so they'd have a whole group.
I just found out that one of their names is literally Flesh and. That's his name. Flesh and Bone.
Flesh and Bone. Oh, that's hilarious.
It's the dumbest fucking thing. How do you have a festival that has Lainey Wilson and Bone Thugs?
And then following Bone Thugs is Foghat. So, yeah, none of this makes sense. Bone Thugs will sing first of the month and then Slow Ride will take off. It's fucking ridiculous. Then George Thorogood, of course.
Hell yeah. I mean, because we're drinking.
Yeah, that's who's in there. Then Cake, because that goes with George Thorogood.
The fuck is happening?
The Avett brothers.
Abbott brothers.
The Avett brothers, who, again, look exactly as you'd imagine them to. Chicago.
Okay.
Why not?
Fuck? They're just like, is anybody available that makes music?
Who is available that's been famous anytime in the last, 60 years? Anybody?
This is crazy.
James Taylor.
Yeah. It's not unusual.
Why not? Tesla.
Sure.
Jason Mraz. Okay.
What the fuck?
And Def Leppard, of course. Oh, and Megan Thee Stallion, obviously, too. You got to have her there. When you have Def Leppard, obviously, she comes with the package.
This is unbelievable. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard of.
That's the weirdest festival that's ever happened, I swear to God.
Wow.
And it's like there's like 3 different days of it, and the lineups, it isn't like an old, like classic rock day and hip hop day. It's all mixed together.
All bets are off.
The Avett Brothers followed by Avett Brothers followed by Bone Thugs. It makes no sense whatsoever. Which is a crazy show altogether.
You wouldn't program a radio station with all those people.
It'd be a crazy radio station. You'd be like, what am I listening to?
You're listening to 99.3.
All sorts of different shit.
Welcome to 99.3 The What? Where every time a song comes on, you go, what?
Welcome to WTF-FM.
WTFM.
Where you're always wondering, what the fuck are they playing now?
What the fuck is this?
I just heard Fabulous, and here comes George Thorogood. I'm confused. Oh, my God.
This is great.
And they also have a 5K road race and a basketball tournament and all that kind of shit and everything like that. And then there's also the Pewaukee Summer Sizzle as well.
Okay.
Gotta have that. This is a little lower key of an event. It happens right around the same time, too. It really is probably overshadowed. This is at Kiwanis Village Park. And, they said, enjoy the musical talents of Andrea and the Mods.
Yeah.
That's not exactly, not exactly genuine.
No.
American Graffiti Band.
Okay.
And Bad Medicine, which is a Bon Jovi song. I don't know.
Song.
I don't understand. And American Graffiti is a movie, so I don't know what's going on. A George Lucas movie.
Wild.
And there's a bocce ball tournament. And a beer garden. So I
like the other one so much better.
That's what I mean. That's a little. You can't really compare those. They're going on at the same time.
I guess you got to do the Summer Sizzle right before the other one to get you really in the mood to see music.
Get you pumped up. That's what it's all about. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in here, property crime is a little over half the national average, but pretty low. honestly, very low. Yeah. And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 1/3 of the national average. So about 2/3 under the national average. So this is a safe place. It's a safe
place. People with money, everybody that plays anything comes.
They go to their money. You get to see Foghat. It's really a hard
dream.
It's a dream. They got a lake and Foghat at the same time. Holy shit! That said, let's talk about some murder. What do you say?
Here we go. Yeah,
let's get into some murder because we have just a weird case today with a weird person, and it's interesting. Let's talk about a lady first up here.
Yeah,
Lynn. Let's talk about Lynn Hernan. Hernan, like that's her nan, not my nan, that's her nan. Born June 26th, 1956. So she's just about my dad's age there. Her parents are Bob and Lorraine Hernan. And now she grows up. Lynn graduated. She lived in Madison. She grew up in Madison, Wisconsin, where we'll have a show that I don't need to advertise because it's sold out. So never mind. I was gonna plug it, but never mind. She grew up in Madison. She graduated in the class of 1974 at La Follette High School, and she had one career goal and one desire. She wanted to be a hairstylist and own her own salon. That's it. Yeah. That's what she was all about.
It's not bad.
No,
Great
it's a
gig.
Cool life and not bad at all. Hard work, though. It's hard work. I mean, my grandfather owned a barber shop. That is, you're there at 6 a.m., you leave at fucking 7:30 p.m., and it's on your feet the whole day. It's brutal.
And you get your own customers. You got to go market yourself. It's a tough gig. It's like comedy, but a little harder because you got to actually
you have to actually work. That's the difference. Yeah, but you can also it's much easier to get a gig. That's the the other part. Anyone will hire you till you fuck up.
Tell a place I'll cut hair.
Yeah, shit, I got that. Yeah, no, I've done it before. So she wants to do that, and she ends up doing that. She'll become a hairstylist and eventually own her own salon for a while here. Apparently, she really, really, really likes old-timey shit. She's super into old-time black and white movies. Like, romantic movies, things like that. Betty Davis, big Betty Davis fan.
Real old-timey shit.
Very much into Betty Davis. And her favorite thing of all time is The Wizard of Oz.
Really?
She has Wizard of Oz memorabilia. She loves the music, the movie.
Yeah. She knows all the facts.
All the facts. And
Tin Man was always sick.
He's from the paint. It was not good there.
I think it killed him.
It made him very, very ill because he kept inhaling shit too. He had shit in his lungs.
Died first of all of them.
I don't know, that's true. But it wasn't for years. I mean, it didn't he didn't finish the movie, cough up a silver chunk, and then fall dead, which is good. But no, it wasn't good back then. They used to. It was tough in movies. But she is all about the Wizard of Oz and shit like that. So that tells you if a person's favorite movie and kind of their personality is wrapped up around the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It tells you somewhat about what kind of person they are. That's usually like a upbeat person.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's the Wizard of Oz is a story of, I don't know, getting home, and it's not a dark movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean,
it has darkness to it, but the people who like it are they're
cheery people.
They're cheery people.
The music of it.
It's a fucking musical. Yeah, there aren't a lot of musicals where it was just like some dark, swarthy person like, I love that fucking musical. It's great. I love when they sing about being out of the woods. That's my favorite. So that's how she goes through life here. From the 70s when she graduates high school in through the 90s, she's hairdressing. Into the 2000s, she's hairdressing. She never gets married, never has kids.
Is that right?
No marriage, no kids, which is, hey, good for you. She likes her cats.
Yeah.
She has cats and Judy Garland, and she's happy with that.
Yeah. Judy Garland died a terrible death.
She did. She had a tough life, Judy Garland.
Yeah.
But Lynn here has she is a, how to put this here? She has a lot of boyfriends and things like that and a lot of relationships, but she never wants to settle down and never wants to have kids. She always wants to live kind of her own thing. So
it's fun. She's living a life.
Yeah, she's got her own shit that's going on. Here's an ex-boyfriend of hers that becomes her good regular friend after they're done with their relationship. That's another thing that happens a lot with her. She'll have a boyfriend and then they break up and then they're friends for 20 years.
golly.
So she has to be a decent person for people to not, hate her after their relationship ends, because
she's mastered the art of amicable separation. That's incredible.
How many exes are you friends with? You know what I mean?
One.
Yeah, it's rare.
Yeah.
So this guy's name is Jim Kelleher. And they met at a music festival in 1983 when she was 27 years old at that point.
Foghat was headline in that one, too.
I was going to say, that was they were there to hear Slow Ride. Who are these Def Leppard idiots? I don't want to hear Rock of Ages. Play Slow Hat again. Or play Foghat, Slow Ride. Slow Hat, Fog Ride.
Fog Ride.
Fog Ride. Take it easy. Yeah. So when asked what his first impression of her was, he said that a lady that looked that good wouldn't go out with me. That's what he thought about her. Like, she was looking good. She ain't going to go out with me. And she's cool looking too back in the day. Like all these pictures of her, like her hair is awesome. Always like all cool and shit because she's a hairstylist and like she's like fashionable and like, she looks like a cool chick. But she ended up liking him. Mm-hmm. So this guy thought he had no chance, and he ended up having a chance.
Didn't realize she had low standards.
He was like, "Wow, she's
that bar for him." Yeah.
I thought she'd have a higher fucking idea of herself, but I guess not. That's a great
me to hang out with her. Yeah,
that's a great thing when you realize that a woman is that you like has lesser standards.
She doesn't see what everybody else.
She doesn't see that she's wonderful. Right. Great. Okay.
She doesn't know she's hot. That's great.
That's good. So he said they lasted about 10 years, their romantic relationship. So
wow, that's terrific.
A lot of long-term relationships, too. This happens all the time. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
And even after it ended, they were close friends right away.
Love it.
So he describes her as a beautiful lady inside and out, just beautiful. That's what he says. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So wonderful. Another friend of hers here is Corinne Patza, and she said that they were best friends for over 35 years, her and Lynn. And I guess she has a son. This Corinne has a son named Anthony Patza. Jesus, poor bastard in Wisconsin. He said he always had a special bond with Lynn since childhood. And that's the thing, too. A lot of her friends that have children, she becomes like their cool aunt, basically.
Oh.
So that's a constant theme that goes on. Like, oh, she treated me like a nephew and bought me things and took me places and, treated me like one of her own type of thing. Like she didn't
have any kids, but she had a whole bunch of them because.
Yeah. She doesn't dislike kids.
Yeah.
She's just not having any of her own. She's like, I like to play with them and buy them stuff and then send them on their way and go home and fuck my boyfriend. That seems like more fun. So he called her Auntie Linny. So there you go. He said he stayed close to her. He would regularly drop by her condo while he attended college nearby just to say hi, and she'd make him something to eat and all that kind of thing. He said, I love doing stuff with her, thrift store shopping. That was a date we would go on, is thrift store shopping.
Yeah, that is. I took my daughter doing that stuff for funsies. We'd buy something stupid. You have $3. Go get something. Get something that'll impress me that you spent $3.
All of this shit is $4. We'll figure this out. Yeah, it's not. It's a cheap day. It's a fun day. My daughter was into that for a while when she was a teenager, too. We just go around.
She found a crazy
stores.
doll that she would hide in her mom's house.
That's fun. Open the toilet lid, and there it is. So there's another young lady here who has a similar relationship with Lynn that Anthony has, and that's a young lady named Jessie Kurzesk. I watched this whole fucking thing, and I still don't know how to say it, and I've heard people say it. Kurzuski, I'm going to say. Kurczewski.
Wow, that's
Kurzuski. Yeah. She's born in 1984, and she has a similar relationship because her mother, Jennifer Flower, was a good friend of Lynn's.
Gotcha.
So she had the same type of relationship, like an aunt relationship here. There's a picture of them at Jessie's high school graduation party that Lynn threw for her. And it's like they're she's hugging her, and you can see there's balloons and picnic tables and shit. And, she threw her the party. Jessie, by the way, not spelled in any way you'd expect it to be spelled.
Okay.
You go, Jessie, and she's a young lady. You go, oh, Jessie. No.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Jesse then. No.
No. Jessy?
Yep. Jessy is how she spells this name. So I've never seen that before.
No?
At all. No. Have you seen that?
I've seen it from yes, but it's just chicks named Jessica that just don't want to conform to the normal ways.
Oh, no, her name is Jessie from what I've seen here.
Really?
Yeah, there is no Jessica.
Ooh,
it's just Jessie.
That's a cowgirl. That's a cowgirl name.
Yeah, for Pewaukee, that's an odd, an odd name. So now Lynn, she basically, from the time she graduates all the way up to 2014, so a good 40 years of her life here, she's always doing hair styling and all that. And I've known there's a lot of people in my family that have been in the hair business, and one thing that is for sure with the hair business is you can make a living off of it.
Sure.
But it's not a good way to, unless you own a shop with a lot of people making you money.
Or you do it for very, very wealthy folks.
Or, obviously, if you can do that. But if you're doing it in Pewaukee.
Yeah, at the
Great Clips or whatever, it's going to be, you're not going to kill it off of that. So they said she's always living paycheck to paycheck, basically, her whole life. Until 2014 when her mother died.
Oh.
And then she inherited $250,000.
That'll help. Yeah.
That helps a lot. So, and she also, it's basically just her in her townhouse with her cats, and she lives very frugally. She doesn't do crazy stuff. She doesn't use any technology, by the way. She doesn't have a phone.
In what year?
2014. Not having 2014, 15. She uses cash to pay for most things.
Is that right?
When she used her credit card, it would be she'd literally go home and have it pay it over the phone right then, to pay it. She would or write a check to pay it. She was right away do that. She hated technology, didn't own a smartphone, didn't have a computer, didn't use the internet. Period.
How are you managing?
In 2014, that is really difficult.
That's very impressive. She's able to pull that off and figure that out.
2014, yeah. She's living like a 1975 life, cash, and no technology.
Is that a stubborn lady that doesn't want to, or somebody that just is like, you guys do it and I don't care?
It seems like she's just kind of set in her ways in terms of that. Like she doesn't, she's not interested. She's like, I am a 70s chick, rock on.
Yeah.
Or
everything she does, she keeps the lifestyle that she still can do it that way.
She doesn't live outside of that. But I mean, you can pull up in your T-top Trans Am and I'll get in. But I don't want to get on the internet afterwards. Take me to the Def Leppard show and then drop me off at home with my cats.
Take me to the box office so that I can buy tickets because I didn't buy them.
Because I definitely didn't get them on the internet when they first came out. So that's how she's going along here. Mm-hmm. By 2016, she's not feeling well. Her health starts to rapidly decline here.
Oh, no.
Rapidly decline. It's tough. Yeah, she just kind of out of nowhere. She just starts getting more and more ill. Jim, her ex-boyfriend, said that despite the fact that she had these growing health problems and she was real frustrated with it and didn't know how to deal with it, she would still visit him and his girlfriend at their home. She'd still stop by and say hi. And he even said she'd bring treats and stuff. She would say she got stomach aches or whatever, and she would always have to leave, though.
Okay.
So that's how she would get out of there. So she starts having a hard time around the house because of her illnesses. Right. So Jessie decides she's going to come in and help her out.
Give a hand, yeah.
Why not? This lady's been nice to her as a kid. You're supposed to help people out when they get older, so that's what she's doing here. And this is in 2016. She comes to she doesn't live with her, but she's there all the time. And, she leaves at night and stuff, but she's always hanging out with her doing stuff. So much so that Lynn had a will drawn up in 2016 naming Jessie as personal representative, which is the equivalent of an executor in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Power of attorney.
Exactly. And she and Anthony Pazza, her friend's son, who's like an aunt to him, they are the co-beneficiaries.
Okay, 50-50?
Yeah, so Jessie's supposed to, be the executor and deal with it, but she's supposed to get the benefits to both of them. Okay. They I guess Jessie sent Anthony some paperwork of accounts she was settling and all that later on, so Anthony's involved in the whole will and the whole estate process here. Now, how sick is she? We'll talk about here. I guess there were times where she would fall, like out of nowhere. She'd just have a fall like she was 90. Yeah. Which is hard because she's in her early 60s and doesn't feel like she should be falling. And she spent her life making a living on her feet, too. So,
yeah, she stood a long time.
Yeah, you do that. So Jessie would have to go and help her get up. Like she would come over to the house and help her up and, stay with her a while. And apparently she had a lung disease of some kind.
Oh.
She had high blood pressure and severe gastrointestinal issues, which the doctors were never able to diagnose. This is the thing. Huh. She has been for like the last, year in 2016. She's been super ill and going to the doctor all the time, even being in the hospital, checked in for days. And they're never,
I don't know, lady.
They can't put a finger on it of what exactly is wrong with her or what's causing it or what she can do to fix it or anything like that. They just keep bringing her back, which is
all
frustrating.
All those symptoms sound like the Midwest.
It sounds like she's got some... She's been eating
Midwest.
Sounds like you've been eating some weird shit, and you living near factories probably growing up here, maybe for the lung disease. And,
sounds like environmental disease though.
How many?
It's all the things that
what do you say in weight? Let's just say in like net weight. How many cheese curds do you eat a day? Just what I'd like to know that. Fried? Yeah. You like them fried, don't you? Yeah.
Past 6 months, would you say a quarter mile of kielbasa? How much?
How much is it, would you say? How many trucks do you say would be needed to deliver the curds to your house that you've had in the last year? Just like end to end. How many?
Curds, brats, beer. How much? How far?
Like the big trucks, like the one that hit Tracy Morgan. One of those, like a big giant one. How many? That's what it sounds like. So Jessie was always with Lynn at this point and became kind of her full-time caretaker. As it goes. Jessie would do the grocery shopping, pay her bills, all the shit she didn't have enough strength to do. Yeah,
that's
Lynn is
horrible.
It's hard.
That's got to be the most frustrating thing on the planet, to have an illness that a doctor is just like, I don't know.
I don't know what that's about, especially if you've been very active your whole life, and she has been. Real active.
Some rest, I guess. I don't know.
It's tough. And she's lucky to have someone like Jesse around that'll help her out.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's a lot of people that age, especially if you don't have kids, they might not have anybody to help them out. So it's great that she did. This is a good investment of being nice to a kid at one point, and you get some returns now. So she also has a boyfriend. Jesse does, not Lynn. Okay. Jesse's got a boyfriend named Scott Craig, and they got together this same year in 2016. They hooked up here. So Jesse got a boyfriend and a person to take care of in 2016. Now, Scott has 4 kids.
Golly, Scotty.
Scotty boy is fertile. They all love Jesse, apparently. Jesse gets along with the kids. Now, as a couple, they like to go out to bars. They go to his kids' sporting events. He had a daughter that had all sorts of softball tournaments.
Okay.
So Jesse had to go watch someone else's kid play softball tournaments, which is always fun. They went to casinos a bunch, too.
Really?
A lot of gambling, a lot of casinos. The Midwest casinos are a very popular activity.
I mean, the
Real
small
popular.
bars, you've got pull tabs, and there's all kinds of gambling that they do.
Yeah.
Meat auctions. There's all kinds of...
All sorts of weird
meat
shit.
raffle is what it's called. They just do
Raffle,
weird shit where they throw a couple bucks on something, and maybe they'll pay off.
Yeah, well, in the casinos, too, I think a lot of that is the cold weather. It's something to do indoors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an indoor activity. So
There's a lot of bingo. It's a weird place,
yeah,
man.
a lot of bingo and fish fries and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So that's what they kind of do here. One of Scott Craig's cousins, Daniel, was living with Craig for a little bit of while Jesse was also living there. So all in the house. Now, Jesse said she worked as a dental assistant, but this cousin started to suspect that she didn't have a job.
Oh?
She said she had a job, and she would put scrubs on every morning and leave, and then she would return a few hours later like she'd worked a day, but this guy was like, something's off here. So he confronted her about it, which is crazy because it's not even his girlfriend. He just confronted.
Hey, I've been thinking.
Well, who cares? First of all, it's none of your business. Yeah. So, tell your cousin and see if he wants to investigate it. Otherwise, mind your fucking business.
It's a very interesting guy that sat around pondering this all day.
Yeah.
I don't think she's
this bitch is
going where
lying.
she said.
I think she's lying. Well, I mean, I'm not with her or anything. It's none of my business, but I'm going to talk to her about it.
To my life, but
So she folded and confided in him that, yes, indeed, she has been out of work for the last 6 months and hadn't told Craig about it.
She's still getting up, putting on scrubs,
and leaving the house. Yes. Like a man in the 50s who's lost his job and is too ashamed to tell anyone.
And he just goes sit at the bar and drink his ass off.
Before he fucking jumps off a bridge. Yeah, that's a very weird thing. So he was like, why would you do that? And he's like, I didn't want Craig to think less of me, that I didn't have a job and all that kind of thing.
Where the fuck is she going all day?
That's the thing. She goes over to Lynn's sometimes, hangs out with her, does stuff like that, goes shopping.
Sits over there in scrubs.
Yeah, that's what she does. Well, I mean, she's sort of nursing, so why not?
Yeah, whatever.
So they said that even though she didn't have a job, Jessie still managed to spend a good amount of money. Mm-hmm. She seemed to have money. That's why Craig never questioned that she had a job, because she'd be buying things. She would give people gifts. She'd give the kids gifts. They'd go to the bar. She'd spring for dinner tabs sometimes. They'd go out to the casino. She'd be gambling like he was. They were both gambling in their separate money, her and her boyfriend. And, he said she never asked to borrow money or anything like that. So she seemed to be doing fine and being able to pay her bills. And so the cousin, though, said, quote, "It seemed like there was no end to the money she had. There was always money, a lot of spending at the bar, drinks for people, food for people. There was just constant spending."
Yeah.
Which seems odd for an unemployed dental assistant.
It's very odd.
Very strange here. She even offers to give people money that you wouldn't expect. One of Scott's ex-wife, the mother of his kids, a woman named Jacqueline here, they remained on good terms. Everybody in the Midwest is so easy to get along with. All these people have amicable breakups and they hang out afterwards. This is crazy. You people are nice,
small
man.
Towns too. You kind of have to, because otherwise, if you hate somebody
you have
enough
to
where you
avoid.
can't be around them, that eliminates a lot of the places you can go.
You have to avoid a whole grocery store, a whole section of town. You have to avoid.
Find a new Meijer.
Can't go to that bar. So that's I guess they have 3 kids, and then he has another one with somebody else. Okay. Now Jacqueline said she was civil with Jesse as well. They met at a fast pitch softball tournament where one of Scott's kids was playing in, and I guess they have an adult daughter. Okay, Scott and this woman have an adult daughter who is in Thailand at the time doing some sort of school, which is an odd place to go for school. But I don't know what you can learn over there that you can't learn over here. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's something.
Thai?
That's one thing. So this lady was saying, oh, man, she teaches English over there. So,
okay.
So now the ex-wife was saying how, man, I wish I could go see her, but that trip to Thailand's fucking expensive and all that kind of thing.
It's
long trip. So Jesse offers to pay for her trip to Thailand. She said, I'll buy you a ticket to Thailand. That's expensive. Jesse. Yeah. And she's offering that to her boyfriend's ex-wife, which is a very odd gesture. I mean, nice, I guess.
Odd, yeah.
Now, this woman declined. She said, no, I can't take that.
That's very kind of you.
It's the Midwest here. I can't be taking that from me here. She said she was always curious how the hell she had that kind of money to just throw at her.
Yeah.
Because she didn't seem like, she wasn't a wealthy person, didn't come from a rich family or anything like that. So this goes on through 2016, 2017, where Jesse's taking care of Lynn, and all that kind of thing is going on here. And it doesn't seem like she has a job through this time.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So 2018, Lynn has been in and out of the hospital quite a bit.
Oh, no.
She keeps getting sick and being taken to the hospital. They don't know what's wrong with her. They send her home after a few days when she feels a little bit better. Then at the same time, Anthony, the quasi-nephew, said that during this time she'd always talk about her money, Lynn would. She'd say, it's disappearing. I don't know what's happening to my money. It's just disappearing. I thought I had more, and I look, and then I have less money than I thought I had, and I don't know what's going on here. So they said that, they asked Anthony, said, well, who's in charge of your money? Are you in charge of everything? And she said, well, I appointed Jessie my power of attorney so she could pay my bills and do stuff like that. So Anthony's like, well, maybe you should
talk to her,
look into this, because, if she's the one doing it, I don't know. So now in August of 2018, Anthony said that Lynn appeared to be improving in health in August of 2018. She seemed to be getting stronger. He said, quote, she said she was starting to feel better, and she's like, I'm fine, I'm glad I'm getting out again, and, we need to go out more often. It's good for me to get out of the house. So she started to get to the point where she was actually leaving the house again and doing social things.
Terrific.
So that's great. Now, September 2018 comes along here. Jim, remember Lynn's ex-boyfriend, Jim, who they're buddies there? He called one night. Him and his girlfriend called Lynn's number, I guess on speakerphone. And Jim says, quote, well, this girl answered the phone, and she was kind of mouthing off to us. Quote, don't use this phone. Don't call this number ever again. Don't worry about Lynn. Don't you worry about her. Fuck you.
Yeah.
What are you, longtime friend? Don't worry about her health, you asshole. So he gets this call he calls and gets this response. He's like, what the fuck? And he said, at that point he was telling his girlfriend, I got to find out what the hell is going on from Lynn here, because I can't even talk to her. So a few days later, he said he got a call from Lynn. So he was happy. She was in the hospital in September, late September of 2018. And she said that she should be getting out in a few days, and let's get plans to get together. We'll make plans to get together with you and your girlfriend, and we'll have a whatever. So she's discharged from the hospital on September 29th, 2018.
Okay.
Discharged. And Jesse is helping her out, taking her home. Now, we don't know what goes on from September 29th to October 3rd. Not a lot of info on what is going on with Lynn, other than I assume she is recovering at home from being in the hospital, is all you can imagine. Then on October 3rd, 2018, a 911 call goes out from her house, from Lynn's house, made by Jesse.
Oh.
She said she came in and found her friend unconscious and not breathing. And she needs, medical assistance. Everybody get him over here. She's passed out in her recliner, is what she said. Oh. So a sheriff's deputy arrives first to find Lynn lying unconscious in a recliner. He called her very pale. She looked very pale, which for Wisconsin, that's saying something. When someone in Wisconsin calls you pale, you have no blood in your face at all.
You're transparent. You are one of those geckos.
You can see
you're a lizard.
The blood in your veins is what you can see. That is
your heartbit. That's
you
weird.
are a human swatch at that point. Human swatch watch. Yeah. We all see the interior. So they said also that there was, this is a quote from the police report, quote, a large amount of crushed medication on her chest.
Okay.
And on a plate directly to the left of her with a large amount of what appeared to be crushed up medication still on the plate.
Right.
Now, there is also just a ring of pill bottles, tons of prescription pill bottles, which she's a sick woman who just got out of the hospital. So there's all sorts of different meds there, but crushing them up on a plate is a different story.
Yeah.
That's totally different. So the police report said, based on the initial observations, investigators believe this could have been a drug overdose of some kind. She could have just OD'd in her recliner, and she's sitting there. Yeah. So they have a picture of the close-up of the bottles, and there's a lot. Some have their caps on, some don't have their caps on, prescription bottle-wise. And I guess they photographed multiple of her medications were scattered on the carpet as well. There was like pills and bottles and shit all over the carpet, as well as white powder on a plate and on her chest, like we said. So right away they're thinking this could be either an accidental overdose or even possibly a suicide because of the amount of pills and the amount of crushed up pills. This could have been, I'm going to just snort pills till I die type of thing is what they were thinking. So the chief medical examiner says that, she saw the pills and the powder scattered all over. She said there was a thought that maybe there was an ingestion that was possibly a cause for the death. So that's what they were going to look into. If you find someone dead with all these pills around, first thing you're doing is a bunch of toxicology reports to figure out if this is the reason or if this is some sort of cover-up of the reason. So now Jim, the friend, ex-boyfriend of Lynn, he had never met Jesse, by the way, somehow.
Really?
Yeah, even though the last 2 years, Jesse's been there all the time and they're friends. The only time Jim ever sees Lynn is if Lynn comes over to their house. He never has gone over there, so he doesn't meet Jesse.
What a friend.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Make a sick lady come over to you?
She wanted to. She didn't want people coming to her house. She wanted to come over to their house all the time. Right. She liked to go out. So Jim says, I get a phone call from Jesse, and she says I have some bad news. Lynn committed suicide. Oh. That's what she told Jim. And, quote, and by the way, we're going to have a dinner for her on the 13th at the Open Flame restaurants. The Open Flame restaurant. She said it in one sentence. Like, I have some bad news. Lynn committed suicide. And by the way, we're going to have dinner for her on the 13th at the Open Flame restaurant. Okay, have a good one. Bye. Click. That was like the whole phone call.
Consider this your invitation. Goodbye.
Goodbye. So, wow. And he was like, oh my God, what the fuck? And Jim says, well, I kind of didn't believe her right off the bat. She wasn't crying. So he at first didn't believe that Lynn was actually dead.
Oh.
Because he's like, she wasn't even crying. Like, she was just calling me up. She's like, very matter-of-factly, like someone telling you your appointment to have your fucking water softener fucking shit replaced. Like, we moved it to Thursday. Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Really weird. And Jim said he couldn't believe that Lynn would kill herself. He's like, no, she was sick, but she had a spirit. She had a Good Witch of the North kind of a spirit to her. You know what I mean? Right, Dorothy didn't just quit. She kept plugging on. You know what I mean? Yeah, you plug on.
Witch's name, but yeah.
Yeah, you're running Glenda the Good Witch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never. So you plug on. You pick up a Tin Man and a lion here or there, and you figure it out. That's what you do.
Move along. Yeah.
You pick your little dog up and you fucking go forward. Now, now that she has passed away, obviously terribly and sadly here, Anthony, who is the co-beneficiary of her will, said that at that point he found out that most of her assets had been eaten away by debt.
They're already gone.
He said, I just felt like something was up and I wanted to look at it more closely. I just remember getting a final account with just a bunch of credit card bills, and it was just weird how she had all these debts that just didn't make any sense to me. She had $83 in her account when she died.
Wow.
$83. So somehow that's why they think, oh, well, maybe it was a suicide. She spent all her money and she was like, well, I'm broke now. I guess I'll just kill myself.
$41.50 to Anthony.
That's it. Yeah. You get that. Enjoy it. So the toxicology report here, they wanted to get the test results there. And they said they definitely had a bunch of prescription drugs in her system at therapeutic levels, though.
Okay.
Not at ultra high levels enough to kill a person. That's what they found. So they were like, maybe there's some interactions with the drugs. If you take this one and this one together, maybe even at therapeutic levels. So the medical examiner said, though, quote, there was a substance that was unusual, an unusual finding I hadn't seen in a report from their facility before. It was called tetrahydrozoline.
Okay, tetrahydrozoline.
Okay, now, so this...
Tetrahydrozoline.
Yeah, tetrahydrozoline, probably.
Yeah.
So this lady says, I don't even know what this is. What the fuck is that? And she's a medical examiner, but it's never come up in a dead person's...
It's usually not in a body.
No. So she said, what is it? She found out it is the active ingredient in over-the-counter eye drops, Visine.
Oh,
Clear
that's
eyes.
tetrahydrozoline. Yeah.
That's that. Okay. Yeah. She was like, oh, weird. She said, this is a substance that I haven't seen in a toxicology report before. It's not supposed to be in the blood.
Yeah.
This is the medical examiner of the county. She's never seen this before in a toxicology report being in somebody's body. So she thought that was weird. Mm-hmm. Now, other results from the report showed she had at least 8 prescription drugs in her system. Some of which she was not supposed to be taking at the time because those medications had been stopped by her doctors. But she got them anyway and had them anyway. So they said that the medical examiner said in her determination, those medications, along with her medical conditions, contributed to her death but did not cause her death.
Okay.
They said they were all at therapeutic levels, so they didn't cause her death. None of them was over spiked. None of the... Because they know, like, if this drug kills you, this is what it does to the organ. So they look through it and to see if that's the case, and they never came up with anything. So the medical examiner starts to believe that her body was staged to make it look like an overdose because toxicology reports showed that none of the crushed up medication that was found on her chest, just on her bare chest or on her shirt and on her cleavage and on this plate, none of that stuff was in her system. Other pills were in her system, but none of the shit that was crushed up. So unless she died before she got to snorting it.
Right.
That's very interesting. Off her own tits, yeah. I like snorting shit off tits, even if they're my own.
Interesting. So she's got crushed up meds on her chest, and she's sucking on a Visine.
And she's got Visine in her system, which is
Capri
strange.
Sun and a Visine somehow.
So... The funeral, there is no service per Lynn's wishes. She wants, in her will, she had no service, no funeral.
Just a nice dinner at the open flame.
A dinner at the open flame and directs all donations if you were going to send flowers or something. Instead of that, send donations to no-kill animal shelters because that's what she's into. So she's a nice lady is what I'm saying here. So January 2019, one of her friends goes to the cops, okay? This is one of her cousins, like a distant cousin, I believe. She contacted the county medical examiner's office with concerns about the circumstances of Lynn's death. Yeah. And this cousin said he found it unusual that Lynn would have willed her entire estate to Jesse. He said, I don't understand that. Yeah. So this guy checked records at the state level to see if Jesse had a criminal record and saw several convictions for forgery and fraud.
Oh, my God.
That's not good. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable. And you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us, be fashionable, get in there with Quince, indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad.
Right.
There's chemicals and things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it, and get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So, the police report said that this person wanted to make sure that the will filed in probate was authentic and wanted to make sure there was nothing suspicious about Lynn's death in the medical examiner's autopsy report. So he's like, listen, I did some digging on my end and I found this. I don't know if you guys got some suspicious shit on your end, but if we put these two things together, who the fuck knows?
Sure.
So they found out that, yes, Jessie has a criminal record. In 2011, she was convicted on charges of identity theft and forgery and was sentenced to 8 years in prison because this was not her first arrest for this shit.
Yeah.
And she had been released from prison in early 2016, which is when she started spending time with Lynn, and right at the same exact time when Lynn's health deteriorated.
What the fuck is happening?
Like the day she got out of prison, Lynn's health started being bad. She was fine her whole life before that. Okay, So there's obviously some weird shit going on here, and they're
what
a little.
The hell's going on? How did she meet her?
A little both through her mom. She was friends. Yeah. She knew her since she was a little kid. She was another one of.
She got out of prison and went right to her.
Yep, she was another one of Lynn's little nieces,
best
basically.
Friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
one of Lynn's kids.
One of Lynn's kids. So a few months go by at this point.
Yeah.
While they're trying to figure this out and they're putting all these pieces together, and Jessie calls the cops for an update.
Oh?
Yeah, she wants to see what's going on. How is everything? You find anything out yet here? What the fuck here? Now, she comes in with her mother, and this is on YouTube. This is the whole interview, by the way. And it's her and her mother sitting there. And Jennifer Flower is her mother, which I think is the name of the lady who Bill Clinton had an affair with. And it made
that's
Jennifer
true, yeah.
Flowers, I believe, was the hairdresser. She was a hairdresser, too.
Right, yeah. Hey,
which is interesting. Yeah, it's all connecting. So she sits down here, and Jessie says, and this is actual from the interview, from the police interview here. Jessie says, when I talked to the medical examiner last, I talked to them numerous times, and they said I had to contact you guys. They kind of weren't sure. We didn't know if it was a suicide or if it was something medical. And the detective says, so at this point, they're waiting for their secondary, they're confirming tests, is what he said. So she says, yeah. And she says, I just wish I knew, it's more so to if I could have done something and if I had been there. That's the hardest part. Because her story is she was with her. She went out for a few hours to run errands, came back to Jessie's house, and here she is. So she's like, I left. If I was there, could I have prevented something? So then they went into some of her issues. They also touched on her drug use as well. Now, Jessie says that Lynn abused prescription drugs and frequently mixed it with alcohol as well.
Okay.
Frequently boozing it up as well. She said, quote, she was really big on her Xanax. That was her big one.
She was real big on it.
Real big on it. Her and everybody else. Her and a lot of other people. So
her and anybody that's tried it.
No shit. So she said, they said, well, what's your relationship with her? Never mind all this. Let's talk about, let's just chat. They're just having a chit chat. Mm-hmm. And Jessie says she was like an aunt, like a second mom to me. She didn't have kids. So they said, so you've known her your whole life, and that's kind of why you were helping her out? And she said, yeah, she's always been real nice to me. She said that she was about the only person still in Lynn's life at this point. She said, quote, she pretty much blew everyone off possible in the end. She'd say, no, I don't want to see anybody. Okay. Which is believable because if she's sick, she might not want people to see her in that condition. But according to Jessie and her mother here, Lynn was so withdrawn that she didn't even want to talk to her friend Jim when he called.
Oh.
Which doesn't make sense because then she's calling him from the hospital saying, let's get together when I get out of here. Jennifer, Jessie's mother, tells the cops, she said, do not tell him I don't want him here. I don't want to see him. And Jessie said she didn't like the way she looked, so she didn't want people around. That's what it was about. Right. So that goes on for a little while longer. It's like a 35-minute conversation.
Interview,
where they go really nowhere. She just says, I just want to know what happened. And they ask, how do you know her? And that's it. Kind of pleasantries. And she leaves with her mother. Then the detectives, by the way, while this is going on, are investigating the whole thing. They're doing like forensic accounting on Lynn's money and shit like that to see what happened here. And they figure out that more than $250,000 has been stolen from Lynn.
It's been just drained.
Been drained. Yes, before and after she died, by the way.
Oh.
So they learned stuff about her accounts. I guess she had a money market account, which had around $250,000 in 2016. But after she died, had $87 in it. I'm sorry, I thought it was $83. $87 in it.
Big
now,
points.
Yeah, I would say so. Now, some of that was spent by Lynn on some jewelry and a Jeep that she bought, but not $250,000. Jeeps are expensive, but not that expensive.
A sick Jeep.
That'd be a crazy fucking Jeep.
What movie was that Jeep in?
I was gonna say it's got the 45-foot lift kit on it. It's a big one.
Robert Downey Jr. drove it.
Yeah. It flies also. Did I mention that? It flies, and it's also amphibious. It's a great Jeep. So now everything else outside of the Jeep and some jewelry, including a total of 20 checks, all went to Jesse.
Oh?
Yeah. Between January of 2016 and October 3rd of 2018, Jesse stole over $144,000 from Lynn.
Jesus.
Yeah, that is a lot. She was getting checks out of Lynn's account with varying things in the memo notes, like IRS payment, car payment, but it was just for her. She was just stealing it. None of the money was going to the places where Lynn was supposed to be sending them. So now Lynn has like debts that are building up now.
Problems.
Taxes and shit are, compounding and stuff like that. It's crazy. So they matched each of the checks to deposits in Jesse's accounts as well to make sure they matched up, then tracked where Jesse spent that money. And apparently, in the 2 weeks that Lynn was in the hospital before Lynn died there up till September 29th, there was a big spike in spending for Jesse.
Oh?
And during that last hospital stay, money was being transferred from Lynn's account into Jesse's account. And then Jesse was withdrawing that money from ATMs at a local casino. At the casino.
Where there's so many cameras.
Oh, they keep track. If you win, they keep track of who you are. And there's,
financial things there are very well viewed.
Yeah. The least anonymous place you can go is a casino. Every square inch is covered in cameras, and they keep track of all the transactions. So you
feel anonymous because nobody knows your name, but your face is very well known.
It's everywhere. Yeah. So they also found out that on the day that Lynn died, the day she died, a J.C. Penney credit card, which I didn't even know still existed in 2018. I didn't know you could get or 16. I didn't know you could get a J.C. Penney credit card in 2016. The day this happened, a J.C. Penney credit card was opened in Lynn's name the day she died, after she was dead already.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Now, first of all, she didn't go to fucking J.C. Penney and open a card. She doesn't have online access.
Right.
Yep. Just days later, a $3,000 purchase of furniture made on another credit card in Lynn's name was delivered to the home of Jesse and Scott Craig.
Oh, Scott got it too.
And her boyfriend. Now, the police talked to him, and he said that, me and Jesse had spoken briefly about a new bedroom set for their home. And he said that the talk ended with me saying, we don't need a new bedroom set. And then he came home a few weeks later, and 3 new bedroom sets had been delivered to the house. Not just one.
3 bedrooms.
3. Everybody gets new beds.
Wall to wall bedroom sets.
New beds, yeah. No house needs all new bedroom sets. That you probably don't. It's just one of those things. He said he was unaware of the purchases also. Craig said, he's like, I don't know where the hell it came from. I don't know how she got it. I have no idea. Shit was here. So then they get into some phone stuff as well here. They get their digital forensic analyst to analyze Jesse's cell phone, and they find an app on there that displays a phony phone number and hid the authentic number on cell phone displays.
Like Google phone numbers.
Yeah, like Google. You can disguise your number. That's all. There's a ton of apps that do that.
So many. Everything the internet, every app, everything we've done has been ways to fucking scheme and connive.
Scheme, connive. It's either that or sex.
See porn.
Yeah. It's either to get sex, scheme, or connive. To get sex, probably.
Fuck.
One of the two.
Yeah. Scheme, connive to fuck.
Yeah. And to make you look way more guilty if you do anything when you look at your phone, because all of this shit has tracks in some way, shape, or form.
We're doomed.
It's so doomed. So this detective obtained information and coordinates from cell towers that mapped all of the cell use by Jesse. And they also said it was Jesse's voice made on 2 phone calls made to Lynn's bank as well. They figured out.
Oh,
and he says Jesse was using Lynn's credit cards while on a getaway with her boyfriend.
Yep.
She was like, I'll pick up the tab, and using Lynn's credit cards.
God.
Out of 22 checks cut from Lynn's money market account opened in October 2014, 20 of those were to Jesse. This included transactions at bars and casinos, Places that Lynn has never been before, by the way.
She doesn't go there.
These aren't her spots. These are Jesse's spots. Right. Jesse's friend said that Jesse told her Lynn died after taking too much medication. Jesse told this young lady that she would pay bills, buy kids' furniture and televisions, and often go to the casinos with Lynn's money and write herself checks. So she was bragging about her friend, like, oh, this lady lets me do whatever I want with her money.
This is what I do.
Yeah. So another cop said that Jesse was a suspect in a fraud case where she admitted that she was trying to open fraudulent accounts under her name of her upstairs neighbors. That's one of the things back in the day she went to jail for.
Yeah.
So opening accounts in someone else's name is her jam that she does.
She got like their mail and was like, well,
fuck it.
It was sent to me. Yeah.
I mean, why not? I'll steal their identity. And Anthony, the quasi-nephew.
50-50,
yeah. He brought up Lynn's will after her death, signed paperwork making Jesse the personal representative of Lynn's estate, and following that, he started receiving the credit card bills and all that kind of shit. And he was like, that's some red flags there.
Sure.
So July 9th, 2019 now, which is 3 years later, Jesse's living at Scott's house doing all sorts of shit. The cops come and raid the house for Jesse.
Oh.
For fraud charges, because they got her on all these fraud charges. And this is the end of their relationship, by the way. Scott, this is the final straw. Yeah. They fucking ripped his house apart looking for shit, searching it. And he was like, he has kids and shit. He's like, fuck this. This is crazy. Which is, in a small town murder episode, that is as normal an activity as someone could have to go, you made the cops rip my house apart and scare my kids. We're finished.
It's over.
It's a very normal thing that usually doesn't happen on this show.
Right.
So the medical examiner at this point also has a conclusion for the cause of death and everything like that. And from the report, it says the cause of death I determined was tetrahydrozoline poisoning. Tetrahydrozoline poisoning.
Yep.
And the medical examiner ruled that Lynn probably didn't deliberately drink this much eye drop formula. So she said how this injury occurred is that she was given the tetrahydrozoline by another, which is why I called it a homicide. So it's ruled a homicide.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody ever thinks I squirt this bottle in my throat.
No, that's never happened before. No. And
they're called eye drops.
The crazy part is just last week on Patrol or Live PD or whatever the fuck it was, we turned it on and there was a situation in a Walgreens where someone was in the bathroom for a long time. Yeah. And they thought they were, passed out or, a junkie or something. And instead, this fucking woman in there tried to put eye drops in her eyes and instead put fucking wood glue in her eyes.
Oh my God.
The bottles were both clear. They didn't look exactly alike, but if you were not paying attention on your phone, she glued her fucking eyes shut. She glued her eyes shut and was in the bathroom trying to put water and get the glue out of her eyes. So her eyes were all fucked up, and she's like, I'm okay. And then she had warrants, and they arrested her. I was like, this fucking lady is having a bad night. They even asked her, well, how'd you get here? Do you have a way out? Or how do you? And she said, well, my boyfriend dropped me off. And they go, and then he just left. And she goes, well, he had to drop me off because he's married. And I'm like, this lady's night is a disaster.
Holy shit.
Anyway, sorry, the eye drops.
I've heard of Visine going in drinks to make people sick.
It's the famous bartender's revenge. That's what it is.
Yeah.
To make people have the shits, basically. That's all it is.
But I've never heard of it being a tetrahydrozoline poisoning. That'd have to be like so many eye drops.
That's the thing. If you put enough in to kill someone in their like drink, they'd be like, I think you made my fucking martini weak. This is weird.
This tastes like dry eyes. Why does it taste like
tears?
This?
What's up with that? So detectives bring old Jessie back in to talk to her. She's in cuffs now because she's in jail from the fraud thing. So Yeah. Now they say to her, they're trying to look at this as a murder, the cop says to her. Which I like that they do. Like
somebody else.
Not me, obviously. Yeah. I'm here on your side, but they.
I'm a fraud guy.
Yeah.
They're murder guys.
That's a trick I use as a process server. I don't know what they want you to do. This is crazy. I'm the guy delivering. I don't know shit about anything. So
sorry, they want you to pay child support. That's
crazy. Wow. Those lawyers are assholes. That's what you always say. These fucking lawyers are fucking assholes, man. And they're like, yeah, okay. And they take the papers and don't shoot you. That's how it works. That's how you get out of being murdered on someone's fucking front doorstep. So Jesse, after being told they're looking at it as a murder, Jesse says, that's just insane to me. And is this why I'm here? And the detective says, one of the reasons.
Yeah.
And Jesse said, do you guys think I murdered her?
No, I'm not murder cops.
And the guy goes, did you? Which is a very good question at that point.
Well done.
And she says, I swear to God, I didn't.
Okay.
All right. That's a decent start. No would have been a great thing to say. No, absolutely not. Are you fucking crazy? No.
Standing on it like that is weird.
Yeah. So the detective says, typically, would you go there in the morning or the night? And Jesse says, I didn't have a set. It just depended how she was doing the day before and, that kind of thing. So then they talk to her about the money. Well, if you didn't show up at a certain time or like days, how did she pay you, basically? Because you got money from these checks. Right. So how does that work? And she said I got that money because Lynn's been paying me for helping her. And they said, okay, do you have like an official arrangement? Like I make $20 an hour, anything like that, whatever. She said, no. There was nothing like that. I mean, there was no, one day, oh, here's a check. One day, here's my card. Go get this. One day, I mean, it was no set. And then the detective says, no set amount.
Yeah.
By the way, that was a word salad that she gave out there.
She really tried hard to explain it and got nowhere.
She got like a bunch of half sentences, basically. Yeah. That's a bad sign to not have A to B explanation of that. Mm-hmm. So no set amount. Jesse says, no, I mean, she'd help out. She'd tell my mom, oh, this month I'm going to pay your rent or I'm going to pay your car. Who does that, by the way?
Nobody.
Hey, I just decided this month I'll pay your car payment. Normal, able-bodied adult.
Yeah. In exchange for you doing what you're doing, I paid your car payment directly. I called them.
I paid your mom's rent. Yeah. For some reason.
Okay. That's weird.
So strange. Very, very strange. So then they said, listen, it's the autopsy that we're concerned with here.
Yeah.
Toxicology reports, the guy says there's an anomaly in her toxicology. There's a drug in her system that's not supposed to be there. Right. And Jesse says, and what would that be?
Uh-oh.
And he says, it's called tetrahydrozoline. Fucking goddamn.
Hydrozoline. Yeah.
Hydrozoline. They misspelled it on here. So then I was like, there's an L in there somewhere. Where is it? Tetrahydrozoline. And Jess says, what is that? And the detective says, more commonly known as eye drops.
More commonly known as the shit that Ben Stein sells people.
The shit that when you're stoned, you'd put in your eyes as a teenager so your parents wouldn't know. That stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jesse right away says she uses eye drops all the time.
Oh.
And the guy says, what did she use them for?
Yeah.
Which is a good question here. Jesse says she used them for her eyes. She'd put them in her eyes all the time.
Okay.
How much gallons? How much of it did she put in her eyes?
Enough to got in her bloodstream.
Leaked into her mouth and through her fucking nasal cavity.
She snort it? How did she do this?
What's she doing? So the detective says, what killed her is the eye drops. And Jesse says, are you serious? And she's all like, oh my God. Wow. And the detective says, mm-hmm. He's just like, yep. Don't say a word. Let her try to get out of this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So at that point, he says, like, the medical examiner thinks someone gave her the eye drops orally in an attempt to kill her. That's what the medical examiner's report says. So Jesse says, do you guys think I murdered her?
Oh, ma'am.
And he says again, did you?
You're right.
And she says, I swear to God I didn't. I did not.
Uh-oh.
No, because she took the contraction away.
Yeah.
So the detective says, seems like you're the one who had the most to gain from this. Cui bono here, bitch. What's going on? And Yeah. The detective said also that they found out through her phones that you know all about tetrahydrozoline, as a matter of fact.
Oh?
Because we saw in text messages with your boyfriend, Scott, that someone had put it in your drink when you were at a bar about 3 months after Lynn's death.
Right.
And then the detective reads the text out.
Message? Oh, shit.
You to Scott. Scott, I don't feel good. And, she said she went to the hospital after that. And here are her texts. They said my blood pressure is really bad. I have traces of tetrahydrozoline in my blood. The doctor said that's the main ingredient in eye drops. He said people put it in people's drinks all the time. He said there's no taste to it and people don't notice. Okay. She also says, quote, you can die from that. So she's acting like, what do you mean, when she described this exact fucking thing to her boyfriend. So they're at an impasse. They say, did you kill her? And she says, no. You sure? Yeah.
Yeah.
Promise? Scout's honor? And she's like, fucking all, I got it all. Swear to God. Never mind. So they go, okay. They send her back to her cell. The next day, she said, I want to talk to you guys again. Hey, guys.
Oh, I got some things to say.
I got some things to say here. So this is after spending her first night in jail, because that was when they arrested her, was that one. Okay. Now she's got a different story.
Oh.
Okay. Now, at first she said, yeah, she used eye drops all the time in her eyes. Now she says, quote, I was up all night trying to think of everything and anything. I was thinking of the Visines.
She boofs Visine.
Yeah, the Visines, and that's on purpose too. That's not just like her talking weird here. She says, quote, she was drinking vodka and Visine. The worst mixer ever. The worst mixer.
Vodka Visine.
Vodka Visine. A V&V, please. Thank you. Vodka Red Bull is disgusting, but this is another level. You know what I mean? This is the worst mixer ever. Fuck a Tom Collins mix. Fuck a grapefruit juice and orange juice and this and that. This is the most disgusting mixer. Let me get a V&V.
We don't have Visine. We got Clear Eyes. That'll do.
Fuck it, I guess. Vodka and Visine. Clear Eyes okay? I guess. That is awful. I guess if all you have is well, fine.
That's fine as long as it's got Grey Goose.
That Opcon A shit that's the top shelf. That's like a Johnny Walker Blue. You know what I mean? A shot of that's going to cost
you. Vodka Visine. Who the fuck says that?
She said she was drinking vodka and Visine.
Who the hell? What cop is going to be like, oh, that explains it. Thank you for clearing that up.
Thank you. All right. Send her back to her cell. Give her good food tonight, too, extra. We're going to order her a pizza in her cell.
Lady, that just made it so much weirder.
Thank you. So the detective here says, how do you know she mixed Visine with her vodka, you said? Like,
yeah, she
for
had
real?
me making it.
She says, because that's what she did.
That's what she did.
And the detective asks the question, I think, every single of the hundreds of thousands of people listening right now, why?
Yeah, who the fuck would do that?
That's a great, huh? Why? And Jesse says she's done it about 3 times. And the detective says, why, number one. Then he says, and another why. Why didn't you tell us about this yesterday when we brought it up?
Yeah.
And she says, quote, because I didn't want to tell you guys because you guys are making it sound like it happened the day of, and that's not what when she was doing that.
Oh.
Okay, but that makes no sense of why you didn't tell us this shit. Yeah. So the detective says, did you ever put the vodka in the Visine? Did you ever put the vodka or the Visine into the vodka?
Right. Did you mix this? Was it on the rocks or neat? How did you
Are
do
you
this?
the bartender here? Is it shaken? How does this work? Is it a martini form? How many olives does she like? Or does she prefer pearl onion? Yeah. Jesse says, never. Swear to God. Okay. She loves to swear to God, this one.
That's her favorite person.
So the detective said, so she put the Visine in her vodka.
Yeah, she did it.
And Jesse says, yep. Okay. Then she said, there's a pause, like them staring at her like she's got 7 fucking heads, obviously.
Right.
Like, you're going to have to elaborate.
Lady, we don't get it.
Further, she says, quote, she was looking for a way out.
Yeah, but
yep.
You just slept on this, and this is what you came back to us with.
You had a long night in jail to sit and think about this shit. And your first night in jail, you probably didn't sleep very well. So
yeah.
So they go, but she's looking for a way out, but you didn't help her with that way out, did you? Did you do that? And she said, quote, I never mixed it. I swear to God. I bought it for her. I knew she was mixing it. She put it into her water once in a while and in her vodka once in a while. This makes no fucking sense, by the way.
Can you run on up to Walgreens and get me my mixers?
And she says later she like buys like 6 bottles of it at a time of Visine, which is enough to make a whole drink. So they kept going back to, why wouldn't you tell us this information yesterday?
Yeah.
For what
What's the deal?
How could you not tell us that when we told you? And you acted like, oh, weird. I don't know. Like, that's fucking crazy. We've talked to you twice, and in none of those times, even though you've done research,
right?
Because you were poisoned, to know that it's poisonous and it could kill you, you still didn't bring that up, knowing that she drinks this shit literally as a mixer with vodka.
Well, shot chaser or mixer. She doesn't really. She did say she's mixing it, right?
Mixing it with Visine,
That's crazy. Yeah.
Jesse then says that one time, that once Lynn started having so much Visine at the house, just laying around, that's when Jesse researched it, too. That's why I looked it up then, because I was like, why does she have all this Visine? Then Jesse said that Lynn tried pills twice, but it didn't work. So then she said that Lynn had dumped Visine into a bottle of vodka for days prior to her death. She was like drinking off this Visine and vodka bottle that she had mixed together. She claims that Lynn became very ill twice before her death from drinking Visine and was, quote, shitting all over. This poor woman, this poor fucking woman, man, she can have no dignity in death even. This like, I don't know, she's just drinking Visine and shitting all over the place.
Okay.
Wow. She said then Lynn made her give me your phone because, Lynn doesn't have a smartphone.
Yeah.
So she said that Lynn made her give her phone so that she could research suicide methods.
Oh.
Let me see your phone. I want to do a little research on suicide methods. Yeah. She said that Lynn bought a gun with which she intended to kill herself. And had in fact, that Jesse had saved Lynn from killing herself on at least 2 occasions. After the first time happened, she walked in and found Lynn with a gun in her hand, and she talked her out of it. And then 2 other occasions, she talked her down from a suicidal ledge, basically. So,
wow.
Yeah. And they're
harrowing tale. Well, she's shitting all over the place.
She's covered in shit, and I'm saving her anyway.
Knocking guns out of her hand.
When you mix shit and weird cocktails and all sorts, this is a strange story.
Yeah.
So that's they're at an impasse again where they keep saying that. She's going, I don't know, man. She just likes Visine. And they went back and forth and they were like, anything else? And she's like, nope, just wanted to tell you that she likes Visine. And she mixes it with her vodka. And she's like, I'll be going back to my cell now. And then the next day, guess what she does?
What?
Hey, guys, can I talk to you one more time? They're getting tired of her by now. Like,
I can't. Look, it's
you're
called
a talky
anticipation
murder.
and suspension.
Just a talky murder suspect. You really are.
I need you to have some suspense on this story.
Holy shit. 3rd time in 3 days.
Yeah.
And she says this, quote, she said she lost like feeling of her body. It made her feel good. And I honestly, she was doing it for so long that I didn't think she was going to die from it. I really didn't. I thought, okay, she was getting some sleep from it. That's it. She was doing it for 2 months at least.
She's getting sleep from Visine?
Yes, Visine. I think the vodka would be the active ingredient in sleepiness, I would imagine. Because when I drink vodka, I get sleepy.
That's the depressant, yeah.
No Visine in it at all. We had those martinis, came back.
Yeah.
You said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll see you in a minute. And we both passed out. That's what happened in our separate corners.
Yeah, too much Visine last night.
Yeah, man, I didn't realize I just put too many drops in my eyes. That was the problem.
Nothing to do with the vodka at all.
Nothing. Wow, and it made her feel good. She was doing it for 2 months, and the detective said, "Doing what?"
Yeah.
And she said, "The Visine." of course.
Yeah, doing the Visine.
She said that Lynn actually did drink Visine the day she died. Remember before she said her whole reason for showing up yesterday was because they thought she was drinking it the day she died when she wasn't, and she needed to tell them that.
She's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, now she claims, whole new story, that when she visited Lynn that morning, that Jesse knew that Lynn had poured 6 bottles of Visine. A sixer, she did. A whole 6-pack.
A whole 6-pack of Visine.
That's crazy. Into her own water bottle.
Uh-huh.
And Jesse said that bottle of water right there had six Visines.
Nobody's ever described the measurement of Visine as
how many bottles? And how Visine is a drop thing. 2 drops in each eye. It doesn't say anything about how many bottles you use for anything.
If you get like a piece of dust or something in your eye, you will squirt that shit in there, but you're not.
It's like 5 drops then, and it's all over your face, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Got more in my ear than in my eye.
You're trying not to get it in your mouth because you don't want to be shitting yourself later. So you're like, doing that shit, wiping it all off with your shoulder fucking
6
shirt.
Visines.
6 Visine. She threw a 6er down, man. She was raging that night. Having a rager.
It's the craziest thing that we've ever said.
That's what I mean. The story is bonkers, dude. It's fucking bonkers. Visine.
I think she had 6. That's way too much to drive.
I know. She had a 40 and she just was hitting it, man. It's too bad they don't make it in kegs. That would be great. So Jesse says, I didn't put it in there. I gave her a bottle of water.
Okay.
You know, what she does with her own. Yeah, what she does with her own water. I figured it was like those flavor drops people put in. I don't know. Yeah. One of those things. So the detective said, which is the one you know has 6 bottles of Visine in it? Uh-huh. And she says, yep. Okay. And they said, because she told you and you give it to her. Is that it? Right. And Jesse says, well, we argued about it. Oh. She said that they spent 10 minutes going back and forth she was trying to stop her from, this fatal Visine dose that she, please put the Visine down. That's all I ask of you, is not something that you hear very often. And she said, Jesse said, quote, she said, no, I want that bottle of water. It'll put me to sleep. Or just drink vodka. And the detective says, and then you gave in? And Jesse says, yep. It's her choice and what she wanted. And they said, and then you left. And she says, yep. Okay. So they said, well, what about the JCPenney credit card that you opened in her name and went grocery shopping? And what about that? Then so you were so sad you bought, you got a nearly defunct store's credit card and then went grocery shopping. Did you stop at Sears afterwards too? Anywhere else? Fucking Circuit City?
Did you figure out Montgomery Ward?
Yeah, what's happening? So Jesse, after all those questions, says, quote, I didn't do it to her, though. I didn't, and starts crying and sobbing. I didn't do it to her.
You've given us 3 different stories and then opened credit cards after a woman Visined herself to death.
In your way, yeah. Then they ask her about, well, there's deleted files from your phone for searches for various poisonings. This is both before and after her death. One of them was, quote, cyanide.pdf.
Just what?
Cyanide.pdf, a PDF form about all you need to know about cyanide, which is hilarious. That's one of the things she had on her phone, a file she downloaded.
Where did she get that from?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you could find it at probably
a PDF,
a scientific or a medical thing that describes the cyanide, how much,
she probably Googled cyanide and then
found a document.
and then clicked the document and downloaded it.
Yeah.
Didn't realize she downloaded it.
No, didn't realize when that little thing jumped in her phone. I was like, oh, that's a download, lady. That little bouncing file thingy. That means you own that now.
She clicked it and it didn't happen, and then clicked some other stuff to get to, and didn't realize that she downloaded it.
Possibly.
I'll bet she didn't.
Possibly. Or I think maybe when you click on something, I guess it's on your phone, it might technically be a download that will save in your cache, possibly. Yeah. I'm not sure how that works, and we're not fucking.
I don't. I'm not looking at cyanide.pdf.
No, that's the other thing. I've never been on that one before. And oddly enough, I'm one of the few people who have reason to look for that kind of shit. That would somehow be not suspicious on my computer compared to everything else I look for. So then she maintained that Lynn would use her phone to look up ways to kill herself. Right. And that Jesse says she didn't remember searching for poisons a month before she was taken into custody either. Oh. She also claims she gave Lynn the water bottle filled with the eye drops the day she died because she always gives in to what Lynn wants. I just can't help it. She said, quote, I know that I'm probably going to prison for the rest of my life for helping her with what she wanted. And then she keeps crying. She's a big crier, this one, too.
Really?
Oh, she's always crying. Yeah, always crying. Boy. So then she is in custody, and she makes a call to her boyfriend, Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, who's not her boyfriend anymore. After the arrest.
Oh, he broke up, huh?
He's not. He's done with her because the cops raided his house and fucked the place up. So he accepted calls from her, though, while she was in custody for some reason. That's an easy click. Nope. Do you accept charge? Fuck no. Click.
Fuck no.
Done.
I'm still paying for the shit that she got broken by the cops.
Yep. I know, obviously, this is being recorded by the cops here. Yeah. And he says on the recording, quote, you just kept making up more and more lies. You're diabolical. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Which is the most normal reaction you could get. Scott's a real fucking normal guy.
Yeah.
Like, I watched him testify in court. He's just like this dorky, gray-haired normal guy, just like real run-of-the-mill. And he's like, once
father
cops,
of four, for Christ's sake.
He said, once cops come into my house and disrupt all this stuff with my kids, I can't be with a person like that anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, someone who's not trash. This is great.
Yeah.
So he said later on that the kids, she was like a mother, or that Lynn was like a mother to Jesse, even though he never met Lynn. Jesse kept Lynn and Craig separated even.
Is that right?
Which
her
is
boyfriend?
Yeah,
Jim. I mean, who's Craig?
Or Scott Craig
Craig
is his name. Scott Craig.
Scott
Craig.
That's right. Yeah,
that's why he said his last name there.
Right.
So that's very interesting. He also thought that he said I never met her because I thought she was in a coma, because that's what Jesse told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that Jesse told me that she was in a coma for months prior to her death. So that's what I thought. And by the way, Lynn was never in a coma. That never happened. She made it up.
Maybe a Visine one, but no coma.
Yeah, she's in a vodka coma. Yeah. So on this recorded phone call, he says, why'd you tell me she was in a fucking coma? Why'd you lie to me about all that shit? And Jesse says, quote, I told you that to protect you for a reason.
Oh, I was trying to,
So, and Craig just says, quote, that's pretty disgusting. That's a disgusting thing to lie about, Scott Craig says. So, and then they talk about how she spent months without a job and pretended to go to work, and that even while you're unemployed, you're giving my fucking kids gifts. You're offering to send my ex-wife to Thailand because you're stealing this fucking sick lady's money. You're fucked up.
Right.
You're real fucked up. He levels her, man. It's fucking awesome. Then they find texts between Scott and Jesse indicating that Jesse, that's the Visine text when she was in the hospital and all that kind of thing. By the way, she was able to spell tetrahydrozoline correctly.
She knows how to spell it?
And knew it could put. She's looked it up. That's why. Yeah.
Wow.
That's like, when someone like, says something on social media about us and they spell my last name right without tagging me and having it filled in, that's always impressive. I'm like, oh, you must be a fan of the fucking show.
Listen,
That means if she knows how to spell that, she was looking at it. So then they talk about her, deleted files about cyanide and poisoning and suicide and all of that. And they said also Jesse had, quote, Jesse sent detectives on a wild goose chase regarding the location of Lynn's safety deposit box, as well as gun parts and Visine bottles sealed in plastic bags that they never found. She was telling him, you can find these here and this here, and none of this stuff actually existed. She was just like wasting time.
Oh.
So she is finally charged with murder in 2021.
That took a while.
A long fucking time. What, 3 years? They had her in there because of the fraud anyway, so they had time to just put the case together and have the charges be whatever. Now, if she makes bail, the conditions set by the court are no employment as a caregiver, no contact with any casinos, and no use or possession of over-the-counter eye drops. I don't give a shit how red your eyes are. Absolutely not. You're not allowed to have Visine. That is contraband, ma'am.
I bet you.
A judge said that. That's incredible.
She's the only person in history to be banned from eye drops.
Banned from clear eyes completely. Your eyes shan't be clear, young lady.
Yeah.
That is some shit. So her trial comes up. And by the way, the craziest part of this hasn't even happened yet. I know that sounds nuts. But the craziest shit she's ever done hasn't even happened yet. That is coming up after the trial. And
unbelievable. I can't wait.
Amazing. It's the fucking most guilty thing anybody's ever done. Okay. So in the openings of the trial here, the prosecutor says that during the second day of interviews with detectives, the jury, you will hear Jesse tell them that Lynn did drink Visine. But Jesse says that she never gave Lynn any Visine. But Jesse does go into detail about how Lynn wanted to kill herself and that Lynn was using the eye drops to help her die by suicide. Jesse tells detectives that Lynn would get a buzz off drinking Visine. Okay. Impossible. The DA also says there's certainly a factual bare bones timeline of theft, murder, and more theft. They said, but there's this almost overlaid timeline of all the defendants' lies and deceit. Yeah, she's a fucking liar to everybody.
No shit.
They accuse her of stealing almost $300,000 in total, including money from her estate later on, everything. Then they said she finally gave that water bottle knowing it had, in the defendant's estimation, 6 bottles of Visine to Lynn Hernan, knowing it could kill her, and walks out of that condo unit, closes the door, and goes shopping on Lynn's dime.
Wow.
Sounds cold as fuck, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, man, especially such a nice lady, too. Lynn's a real nice lady. Like, there's, man. So the defense comes up now. Now, how do you defend this? Well, she is going to have a Sarah Boone level of amount of attorneys to try to figure it out.
Oh, really?
By the end of this, she'll have gone through 8 attorneys that withdrew from her case. Not that she fired, that they said, fuck this lady, I'm not working with her.
We can't do it. She wants us to mount a defense that is just illogical and unethical.
I can't say that in front of people.
No.
They have cameras. This shit is on the internet now. It's Law and Crime or whatever. They did the whole trial's on fucking YouTube right now.
Going to tell a jury of 12 of my peers that something is addictive that is not addictive.
No. All the other lawyers are going to make fun of me. Do you understand? Later on at the lawyer meeting, they're all going to pick on me, and I can't take it. It's too much
I got to
already.
go sit down with these people in the future. I don't go to jail when you do.
No, I'm going to get wedgies because of this. They're going to totally pick on me. Noogies and wedgies, and I won't have it.
They're going to be saying things like Visine withdrawals at me.
God damn it. I can't do that in front of people. So the defense says, quote, if Lynn Hernan was there today, she would say, are you crazy, prosecution? That's my daughter you have sitting in that desk over there. That's my daughter. She said she had a boatload of prescription medication in her system, and they're saying Visine killed her, not the other pills she had in her system along with alcohol.
Okay.
And he says this guy also says that Lynn knew that Jesse was spending her money and that Lynn was depressed and coping with alcohol and prescription medication. And he said that Lynn wanted to die and didn't like life. He says, but she introduced people to Jesse. This is my daughter. Yeah. And that's who Jesse is to Lynn, her daughter. Yeah. Jennifer, meaning her mom, that's Jesse's mom. Jennifer's like her best friend, and Jesse became her best friend. Oh, boy. He then says Jesse was the only person she trusted. Then the defense tells the jury that Lynn's health further deteriorated. She became despondent, and she said, and you saw the way she was done up with her hair and nails and jewelry. She didn't look like that anymore. She didn't want any more visitors because she didn't look, in her mind, the same. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Listen up, folks. With ZocDoc, you don't have to settle anymore when it comes to finding the right doctor. No more going to the dentist who want to chat with you while they're cleaning your teeth. Thanks to ZocDoc, you've got options. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Wondery to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Wondery. ZocDoc.com/Wondery.
They said she was tired of being sick and she decided to take her own life. They said when police arrived on the scene, they found a lot of empty prescription bottles, and they can't see that as a suicide, and then points to Jesse and says, she's innocent. You find her not guilty. They said, look at all the powder she had spilled on herself. She said, Jesse told you it was common for Lynn to crush up medications because of her problems swallowing pills. Apparently.
Oh, so she got a narrow throat.
She got a narrow throat, so she just snorts it all, because that's normal.
Or just does it in liquid form with Visine.
Something, but none of the crushed up shit was in her system. So that's a hard argument to make. Tough. So the medical evidence, they said the prosecution says this, the belief that Lynn Hernan was given tetrahydrozoline by another shows that she was given this unsuspectingly. She didn't know that she was ingesting this substance when she did it. And the defense said to the medical examiner, these are all the drugs that were found in her system, right? And they had a list, and the medical examiner says correct. And they were all in her blood, which means they'd already been ingested and made it into the bloodstream. The doctor says true. Right. They said your conclusion was that she died from tetrahydrozoline, right? And she said that yes. And the defense asked how the medical examiner could be so certain that she didn't ingest the eye drops on her own. And they said, you don't know as you sit here today whether she voluntarily ingested that. And the doctor says, it was my opinion she didn't, but knowledge of her action, no. Obviously, I wasn't there. Yeah. But then on redirect, they asked about the powder found on and near her body. And they said, that wasn't in her system, right?
What's up with that?
They said no. And the prosecution says, what do you think happened? And the doctor said, I think that they may have been deposited there. Someone put them there, basically. Hey, I'm no...
Yeah, Chappelle joke. Sprinkle some crack on it.
Sprinkle some crack on it. Now it's drug crime. Yeah, from fucking killing him softly. So Jim Kelleher is also going to testify, the friend, Lynn's friend. They ask him, did you ever hear Lynn say anything to you about killing herself or thinking about killing herself? Jim said, no, I did not. She never gave me the indication of being suicidal. Never.
The woman's trying her best to get healthy, for Christ's sake.
She's trying, damn it. Yeah, she was talking about hanging out and let's, get together. The defense presents their case. Jesse's mother's friend testifies.
Sure.
Gary Verdon, who's a friend of the mom there, testified that he'd been in Lynn's condo twice, the second time about a year before her death. But he said his memory was very clear. He said, quote, I always saw her sitting in this chair. Chair? Did you have to search for the word chair?
Sometimes, look, man, some dummies like me have to stutter to try to pull a word out. What
chair?
Is that thing with four legs? Yeah.
I get there's plenty of words where I'm struggling because I'm trying to think of the next thing and the last thing, and I'm following it, all my notes.
Maybe he was trying to find an interesting word, like fucking lazy boy or recliner or
fucking something. I don't know what he was doing, but Chair.
Chair. Whatever.
Fuck it. Chair. I gave up. Wow. With a table next to her, she had a white Slurpee cup, a straw coming out of it. She had a bottle of vodka next to it. She had an ashtray, her cigarettes, and a bottle of Visine. Ooh, that's a fun night she's got in front of her. She's a heavy smoker too, by the way, Lynn. As a 70s and 80s hairdresser, kind of has to be by law. I feel like. They said, "Are you sure it's Visine?" And this guy said, "Yes, absolutely."
Yeah.
He said on another occasion he heard Lynn on speakerphone when he visited Jesse's mother, Jennifer Flower. This Gary said, "Lynn just started rambling off, and she was either sleepy or tired or whatever, but she was rattling off about the will. Then she started talking about how she wanted to kill herself." Okay. That's normal conversation people have on speakerphone. My will, my will, my will. By the way, this is important because I'm going to kill myself. Did I mention that?
Right.
Oh, my God. Then the defense called a nurse practitioner who began treating Lynn for back pain in 2017. Despite prescribing several pain medications for her, she said Lynn did not improve. And so they asked her in 2018, January, she continues to complain about back pain. And the nurse says yes. And they said the pain being worsening. And she says yes. Then they bring in the forensic pathologist. And this doctor says, "I would say her past medical history was very significant. She had a long list of medical conditions and also had quite a few psychiatric disorders, depression, anxiety, agoraphobia, which is fear of public places, chronic insomnia. Those were the ones that were listed in her medical records."
In her chart, those are all she has. Those.
She's been going to doctors for a long time and had these problems here, but she's always tried to get help for it too. She's, she realizes she has problems and tries to fix them. So, or at least, mitigate them a bit. So this doctor also said she agreed with the state's conclusion that Lynn's medical problems contributed to her death. She did not agree with the state's finding that Lynn died from tetrahydrozoline poisoning.
Oh.
The prosecutor says the forensic pathologist that the defense brought up said that Lynn's cause of death was undetermined, but she believed it was a mixed drug toxicity. And so that means she thought it was a combination of all the drugs found in the system there. So they say, would you say there's strong evidence here that Lynn Hernan's death was a suicide? And the defense pathologist says, I would say, that's a good way to start. I would say there's strong evidence that it certainly could have been a suicide. Yes. So that's the defense is saying, see, suicide. And the prosecution's going, obviously fucking not. Jesus Christ. Yeah. This woman's just super lucky, happens to get a benefactor who can't wait to kill herself and give you all of her money. That's ridiculous. So will Jessie testify?
Will she?
That's the big question. And Jessie says, quote, "It was very hard for me to decide, but ultimately I will not be testifying," she tells the judge. Yeah. So prosecution, here's the closings. Prosecution, DA, says that there's one motive here, money. That's it. Jessie's clear, her intent is clear. It was to kill, and the motive is her own personal benefit. This is someone who has profited over $144,000 before the death and over $80,000 after the death.
Oh, shit.
So pretty cut and dried here. So the defense, though, says, no. It's obvious she took her own life. That's what's obvious here. Okay. We're looking for obvious shit. The defense says that the state has not proven a first-degree intentional homicide. Jessie knew that Lynn would take Visine and drink it, but she doesn't know how she decided how she died that day. It looked like a suicide with pills from a person that was unhappy. Okay. As for the allegations of theft, the defense says she didn't steal that money. She was given that money.
It was a gift.
Yeah. She said she was giving away her money because she knew she was going to kill herself. That's like when people give away their possessions. It happens. She said Lynn gave Jessie money all the time because she wanted to. She wanted Jessie to have it. She knows she's going. She knows she's going out, and Lynn made a decision. She made a decision that she was going to exit, and she did that on October 3rd once Jessie had left the home.
Okay.
In the prosecutor rebuttal, they say to believe this is a suicide, you would have to believe that the most cosmic intervention in the entire world, and it happened at the exact point in time when Jessie maximized the amount of money that she made on this whole ordeal.
Yeah.
She saw she had no more money left in her money market.
Yeah.
And eventually she's going to see that and probably blame her. And then She was still on like probation from her last prison stint for fraud.
She's going to get caught for fraud, and she's going to go back for a long
She's
time.
going away for 10 years.
Yeah,
She just did 6 years for this. She's going back for 10 now, easy. So that's not great at all. Mm-hmm. So the verdict comes in 10 and a half hours of deliberation.
Is that long?
That's a long fucking time.
That's more than I would need.
That's what I mean. It's not long in general, but for this case, it seems like a while.
It's 9.5 hours, way too long.
Are we just going to vote guilty now or after we eat lunch? Yeah. When are we doing this? Because obviously this is
crazy. You guys could eat, huh? Okay. What we want to. We're going to argue this out over a vodka and Visine.
That's who wants some V&Vs on me, baby, at the corner bar. So they find her guilty of first-degree murder. She, of course, broke down crying as she does multiple times in court. She's also convicted on 2 counts of felony theft as well. Anthony, the quasi-nephew, said, "I was just overcome with emotion. It makes you reflect on the last 5 years with the lies and deceit." Now's when it gets weird, okay?
Really?
If you haven't, you may think it's weird so far, but you ain't seen shit yet, all right? Okay. From this point, she's now awaiting sentencing, and that takes a while, right? There's a couple of months until sentencing. They have to get their, both sides have to prepare their case for sentencing and all the pre-sentencing reports and all that kind of shit. So during this time, an envelope containing 37 pages of handwritten letters and documents was received by a friend of Jesse's who turned it over to the sheriff's department.
Oh.
Okay, this is fucking crazy. Now, Jesse claims she did not write these letters. Okay. The problem is the letters are written on the back of her own court notes from court.
Okay.
No one has possession of these court notes except for her. They're the notes she writes to her lawyers and stuff like that. And her lawyers, write a little something back on it. You see people scribbling in court all the time. That's what they're doing. Because that's the only paper she had in the holding cell in the jail, she would take those back and then flip them over and write this letter on it.
Nobody will look at the back of these.
No. And she claims this isn't her, even though it's her shit. So it's wild. The prosecutor said the letter requests a friend of Jesse to fake evidence, create a voice recording pretending to be Lynn Hernan, to send all of this to the judge in the case, to the local media, even to the governor to try to prove Jesse's innocence. This letter is fucking insane. I have the whole thing. We're going to read it. It's awesome. Boy. So the prosecutor said the documents were written by Jesse on the back of her trial notes, giving directions to her friend on how to impersonate Hernan and fabricate materials and submit them to the court. This is crazy. She said that when you make the audio tape, make sure to know that Lynn has an older, raspy female voice.
It's an old gal.
Yeah, like that kind of,
Make it sound like you smoked for 40 years.
That's exactly what she says. She says to her, she's a heavy smoker. Make it forever. Make it sound like it.
Make it sound like one of the Simpsons sisters.
Make it sound like Selma. Yeah, Patty or Selma. She says she directed her friend to say exactly what to say on the tape. Quote, I cannot go on anymore, which makes it more dramatic. Mm-hmm. I chose to drink Visine and end my life.
Yeah.
Okay. This is fucking amazing. Now, the letter here, they give it to the judge, and it says enclosed is a packet of 37 pages that are dated November 22nd and were received by the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department on November 26, 2023. The packet of papers is comprised of Jesse's initial letter to the recipient, followed by many pages of instructions, whereby she asks and instructs the recipient on how to create fraudulent documents along with a fraudulent cassette recording. The recipient received this packet of papers at her home and was disturbed by what was being asked of her, and ultimately the recipient decided to turn them over to law enforcement. The state wishes to point out the original paperwork was double-sided, which is important to note as Your Honor reads through the papers, because her substantive instructions were written on the back of her own trial note pages from her recent trial. For example, pages 17 and 18 of this packet are the same, but for the exception of the Post-it note that she utilized as a means of showing the recipient where the recipient should place a fraudulent copy of a notary stamp on that document.
Uh-huh.
She's even teaching her how to fraudulently notarize things. Page 19 is then a reverse side of that same sheet of paper and contains her notes taken during the trial. The same is true of pages 20 and 21 being the same, but for the instructions on where to place the notary stamp. Okay. They said this is important because she's now written new fraudulent letters purporting to be from Lynn Herned, dated back in 2016 and 17 on the back of her paperwork from trial, which obviously occurred in 2023. Okay. Here's the letter. Oh, boy. Here, by the way, it's written in absolute...
oh, for fuck's sake. That's a woman.
Girl cursive. Yeah, there's... Yeah. This is every chick you sat next to in 6th grade did this, and then their eye, dot the I with a circle. But she doesn't do that. She falls short of that. Okay, now, if I struggle for a minute, it's going to be to read her cursive on this copied paper. But I'll try to go through this pretty smoothly. Dear Jessica, this poor Jessica, oh boy. I wanted to thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew.
The card on the gift would say.
You would see the biggest gift would be from me.
It would be, yeah.
And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. That's literally her first line is, thank you for being a friend.
That's so funny.
It's hilarious.
Thanks for being a pal about
thank
this.
You. Just literally, thank you for being a friend through this crap. I mean that. Mm-hmm. This is crap now. Some days I feel so alone, and now more so. I feel very selfish lately, and I hope I told you I am sorry for your loss of your brother. I haven't asked either how you're doing or your kiddo. I hope all is well. Okay, that's her. Look, I'm not a bad person. Yeah. And now
I'm considering your family.
Here's some shit that is highly illegal and will get you put in prison. Help a murderer fucking get out of
as long as you're well.
Only if you're up
things
for
I need
it.
you to do.
If you're not feeling great, I'd suggest a V&V. You'll sleep well tonight.
Now, considering you have a child, now let me put you in, maybe make that child grow up without a mom.
Horrifying legal danger. Let's do that. Let's put you in awful legal peril now. How's that sound?
Considering your child may have to visit you through glass for a while.
At least it won't make your brother sad anymore. Since we know he's dead.
Wow.
I appreciate you coming for court, and both you and your friends, please tell them too. I don't know, Jess. This is just insane to me. I sit here day in and day out, replaying and replaying everything. I cannot spend the rest of my life locked away for something I didn't do. Then she says, this isn't right. I wish I had the jury's names. I so want to reach out. I'm losing my mind about this. Yeah, that's why they don't give you their names, so you can't harass
You're not allowed.
The jurors who convicted you of murder. Like, that's crazy.
I wish I had their names and their family and their addresses.
Their addresses and maybe just what their weaknesses are, with their kids' school schedules and, activity schedules possibly.
And access to their drinks.
Pictures of their spouses and access to Visine.
Materials.
Oh, shit. Then she goes on to say, if I'm honest, this is such a butter. You have no idea that you're going to be asked to do such horrible shit from the first part of this. If I'm honest, I don't know how much more I can take. I've wasted 4.5 years for this to be made right, or I've waited 4.5 years for this to be made right, and it got 10 times worse, not better. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be convicted of murder anymore. It was fun for a while, but
first, the processing wasn't so bad. The fingerprinting. Then I don't see anybody anymore.
They're not letting me out either. It's weird. Like I asked to go to the store,
back.
No one's doing it. I said, when the guards leave, I said, hey, can you pick me up something, bring it back? No, they don't do it. It's weird.
They don't even talk to me.
It's fucked up, man. That is amazing. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm so strong in my faith, but right now I can't even open my Bible. I don't understand. I can't go a day without breaking down at my new reality, staring at these walls. I keep thinking of all the things I want to even do or have. The hardest one is not being able to see my grandparents before they pass and not being able to have kids. Well, you had all the opportunity to have kids, and if your grandparents want to visit you, they're welcome to.
Yeah, they're allowed in.
They're fine. They probably won't because you're an asshole, and they're embarrassed by you.
Because you're in trouble.
And you're in a lot of trouble. I'm glad.
You're
glad
a blight on the family.
You're really an embarrassment. You're all that anyone talks about when we go places. It's not great. I'm glad I don't with all of this, but by far, that's one I get super emotional about. It's what I always wanted. Then there's my mom I worry about. She's got nobody left. She would have taken her life long ago, but I needed her. I'm the only thing keeping my mom alive. She would have taken her life long ago. Why? Why is everyone so suicidal up here? What's happening in Pewaukee? You guys are tripping, man. Holy shit. The Brewers will win eventually. It's fine. Just calm the fuck down. Jesus Christ. I needed her. She's struggling with all of this and blaming herself because she couldn't deal with Lynn anymore. Okay, then, and she went and dealt with her. So I stepped up to help Lynn daily when she stopped and because she couldn't testify. We had a pact. If things went wrong like this, we were both checking out. If we were, her and her mom, if we were convicted of murder, we're both, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm trying to fight and hang on, but it's so hard. I feel like I'm fighting a lost cause. This county is so crooked, it's not even funny.
The county's
crooked. You Waukesha, you're fucked up. You should see just what I've uncovered in discovery since the trial ended that they lied about on the stand. It's so wrong. So I talked with one of my attorneys about stuff in person, and I got a biggie for you. To ask of you. Took her 2 pages to ask this favor. Yeah. First of all, this is big. That you know something bad's coming up. I got a big favor to ask. Okay, ask away. First of all, this is big. Oh, boy. Never mind.
I'm very well aware of how big this is.
This is big. I trust you, and whether you help or not, there's something I need you to take. This is something I need you to take to your grave. Even this envelope didn't go through the jail mail. My attorney took it.
Oh.
This is one of my attorney's ideas, and clearly they aren't going to tell anyone. I would never tell a soul. You can tell someone if it's to ask for help, but if you trust them, and if you can't, and if you aren't comfortable, I'm going to give you another person's address and send it to them with directions and please. So if you won't do it, give it to this person and see if they'll do it. Either way, do not talk about it on the phone or visit. And that's underlines do not talk, and phone and visit are underlined. Mm-hmm. You can say if you got your letter, if you can do it, just say, yes, I want you to send me a something form when you get to somewhere. And if not, then say you need that address for my friend, and I'll figure out who plan B is and give you a name and address to forward it to. I know that all sounds cryptic because it is. Yeah. I know this sounds highly illegal and like I'm real secretive because it's super illegal and I'm very secretive.
Probably sounds like I'm beating around the bush, and I am, but it's because you need to do some thinking about how this has to unfold and be done.
It's a lot. Then she says LOL, which is hilarious that she put LOL in here because it is LOL. No LOLs in your jail letters to your friends to try to get them to help you beat a murder charge. No LOLs. We are trying to make a big stir to show just how wrong things are. But I need help because there's only so much I can do in here. First, you need to know I did not kill Lynn. You should have said that in the first line.
That's first?
First, nor did I assist, nor did I even steal a dime from her, ever. My something charges are that old, dumb, or my old charges are that old, dumb, and young. Okay. Love you, Jesse, and then I thank you for everything under that. And now the directions start. It says, I'll show you, directions on top.
Oh, God.
This is what I need.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you remember hearing about the, what is this? Oh, the picnic, or the park, the Whitehall Park, where I buried things? Okay. That was 100% true. The difference is 6 months later or so, I regularly went on a walk there daily. That area was prone to flooding, and the bag was sticking out one day, so I dig it out and ended up throwing it away. Only one person know that, my attorney. Everyone else believes it's in the park or never was in the park. So it's either still there or never was there. It was part of the gun, Visine bottles Lynn had dated from from her mom's death. I never told anyone that. She dated her Visine bottles. Huh. I don't know why you would do that.
Lynn did?
Lynn did, yeah. These are my...
I guess they expire, and I don't know.
Notarized papers of hers and a cassette tape. Old school voice reading of Lynn.
Yeah.
All something stuff that I kept hidden. I can't read that. All something stuff that I kept hidden and quiet. But she spells it quite. She kept it hidden and quite.
That word really fucks murderers.
They do it all the time. They can't get quiet right. And it's not a spell check. It's it's cursive handwriting. I don't know if I ever told you about Lynn's mom or if you heard when Dana or Donna tried to bring it up in court and the judge shot down. The state requested her mom's records. There we go. But never turned them over. While I was in prison in 2013, Lynn's mom died. She gave her Visine in her tea when she cut her out of her will. When she found out her mom, she was stealing her money. Her mom died. She got dizzy and fell downstairs. No autopsy was done. So she's saying Lynn killed her mom with Visine, is what she's saying.
So Lynn's a murderer.
Lynn's a murderer.
She murked herself too
with Visine. That's her thing here. Yeah, but she was always afraid. I didn't know this until after Lynn's passing. That's why she gave money away. It haunted her. That's her excuse. It haunted her.
So she felt bad about killing her mom, so she gave away money to perfect strangers to heal
to
her own heart.
Yes, that makes her feel better about the whole
thing.
Give
away all of her worldly possessions because she's down to $80.
And it was, by the way, the whole point of killing her mom was to get this money.
Right.
That's why she did it.
And then she gave it all away.
Then she
down to $80 and was like, "Well, I got nothing left, so it's time to
go to the big Visine bottle in the sky. Let's do this."
Time to go visit Ben Stein.
Holy shit. It haunted her. Also, how and why she started drinking it. First was to die, but it didn't happen. She'd been drinking it for months. I didn't know till the end, in parentheses, but numbed her pain and helped her sleep. That's not what Visine does.
No.
She was an insomniac, and Xanax wasn't helping her to sleep anymore. Wow. Weak right? Xanax. Okay, sorry it's complicated. Yes, and I'm to blame because I didn't save the stuff, but at the time, what did I need it for? And I didn't want anyone knowing what I found out. So, here's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, get to that. Recreate that stuff. Just trying to recreate evidence that will clear. Quote, recreate it. In other words, make up this evidence and make it happen. That is crazy. I did what I could. I wrote up the letters, will, etc., and I signed all names, dates, etc. I need someone to look online for a notary stamp, not to buy. There are places that will show you a finished product. You input name on what it should say, and you can copy and paste. You may need to cook a few. I don't know. May need to cook a few, but they have when you can new sample. Then you take the pages I wrote, copy them a few times, make them a little lighter, then line up for notary and print more notary around angle, turn so forth so it's not lined up perfectly. Make it look good, like someone casually did it. Yes, I used to make documents for people. Sounds crazy, but true. I was good at it. Yeah, that's why you're in prison the first time.
You weren't good at it at all. You got caught.
A bunch of times. Those bank ones were something doing. I didn't make those mistakes. Okay? Anyway, sorry. Then, When done, copy the whole page again so it's a full copy, not original, so nobody knows the notary seal wasn't a real stamp because it's got crimping on it. Right. All I need is 2 different names for notary, one on page 1 and the other on 3, and one on 3 pages. These are real people who worked at her bank years ago who actually notarized papers on these dates, and I have those other papers here with the signatures, dates, and all that I did. So take these legitimate signatures and notary things and put them on an illegitimate document. I just need the notary and copies, please. Then it says explained with the pages. Now there's one more part I'm trying to get with that. I can't do anything on the Visine bottles because those bottles are way too old, and none in stores would match that. Yeah. And the gun piece, they know she had bought it, so it doesn't matter. It's the cassette tape. I need to see if someone would make a voice tape. I know this is crazy. This whole letter is called I know this is crazy. I know this is crazy, but I got to try. It's something. It's something. I don't know what that is. It caused my life. If I could, I would. They would suspect my mom. That's why I can't have her. Nobody has her on voice recording. She has an older, raspy smoker's cough and was a sick female voice. Always coughing and smoking.
And action.
And go.
I need you to do this like everybody does Christopher Walken. How are your impressions?
How are your impressions of old smoking leg? Can you cough a little bit? Not just put that in there every once in a while.
And then say, hold on, I need to light one of these Benson and Hedges.
And then just every once in a while go, just do that right into the mic if
Christ,
you could do that.
Where are my Virginia Slim?
That is satisfying smoke right there. Oh, boy, that really satisfies. Let me tell you something.
Christ, I feel so much better now that I have a cigarette.
Oh, boy, Marlboro country is somewhere I never want to leave.
It's so crazy.
This is crazy. She says, I feel like there's programs online to change voices. There's so much technology these days.
Maybe there's
is that
an app for
a
that.
setting? Old Smoky Broad? Is that a setting you can find somewhere?
This is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Amazing. She was sick and did it 2 days before her death. Nobody's going to know if it's her or not. It's been 5 years since she's been recorded, and I have the wording for that recording. Honestly, you could even just have a movie or music on in the background to help distract. You know, she's telling you how to be a scammer, a full of shit scammer.
I can set you up with some background noise and your
This is great. It's like that'll distract from the exact. They won't be able to
from that. It's not exactly her voice. Yeah.
She said she always had one on and loud. I would be cautious that the music. I would be cautious that it's music, and then in parentheses, she loved Gaga, or Lady Gaga, or a movie from before her death. If you do that, so it doesn't raise a red flag. Yeah, don't put a movie that just came out.
Don't put any new releases. No Wicked.
Oh my God! Nothing from past 2016 though. That'll be a real red flag. Super big red
some
flag.
Wedding Crashers or Shanghai Nights.
Just some shit that's evergreen. Go evergreen. Put a Seinfeld rerun on in the background or something.
It's hilarious that she's like, just listen. It can't be too new.
Then she gives examples. I love this. She is helpful if she's going to do this.
Don't have the tonight's news on.
That's bad. Yeah, keep that off. No, the football game from Monday night. None of that shit.
Welcome to Super Bowl 59.
Yeah, that's going to be bad. She says, put on Pretty Woman, Mrs. Doubtfire, Wizard of Oz. That would be ideal, her favorite.
Yeah.
Because that's always on. Then she says, now what do you think? ? Hold on, think about it, please. And then she puts over.
Gives time for pause.
No, she has an arrow, actually, that says turn over.
Think and then turn over.
Things you'll need.
Oh,
she's got a supplies list.
Yep.
Computer, paper, envelope, stamps, address labels, cassette, old school, cheap ones. Able to record voice. Gloves, underlined. And then it says must. And it says, and then a star, if you help. you don't need gloves if you're not going to help. Then don't bother.
Don't buy those if you're not in.
Make sure you wear gloves because you are not getting in trouble. You're helping me. When it's done, we'll see what happens.
What?
I don't want you to end up in here next to me, she just said. Make sure you are. Don't be as bad at crime as I am, please, if you're going to do it.
No, you don't understand. I was robbing. I wasn't robbing the bank. I was helping that person.
I wasn't.
These gloves.
I was just. They told me to hold this gun and point it at that person. I was like, I'll hold it while you're shoveling that money into a sack with a fucking $sign on it. No problem.
You're helping. That's why you need the gloves.
Whoa, that is crazy.
Yeah.
When it's done, which I need ASAP before December 7th, that's the sentencing. The sooner the better. If there is an easy way, and if possible, I'd like copies of the tape, but if it's too much on hand, one is just fine. Anything you buy, do it at a store not in Waukesha, and with cash at like Walmart. Self-checkout. That's me being extra cautious, careful.
Where they have a camera right in your fucking face.
Showing your face. Not to mention, I'm just teaching you that I really thought about how to do criminal shit.
Yeah.
The finish goal is to get finish letters and tape mailed to Judge Darrow. If there's more to others too. If not, just a basic letter to others. And then 11 people total with Judge, she puts. Yeah. And that is attorney Donna Kutchler, attorney Pablo Galvez. Those are her attorneys. Yep. Waukesha DA's office, TMJ News 4, the sorest jaw in all of Wisconsin. CBS News 58, yeah. ABC News 12, Wisconsin Attorney General Josh something, I can't see, Court TV, Fox 6 News, Tony Evers, I think, the governor. Then it says, for everyone and judge to whom it may concern. And then she wrote sample on it. Like, obviously, don't use this. Make your own. But something like that. Don't say who you are. Just a concerned citizen. R.E. Jesse Kaworski, Visine trial, in parentheses. That's what you do. And this is what you say in this letter, by the way. I wrote it out for you.
Jesus. Here's the
This
script.
Is amazing. I have watched this trial from the beginning, and I've never met this girl.
And just so you know, I don't know her.
Jesus Christ. This is like, oh, man, this is somebody like writing a review for their own restaurant. I've been in here once. Charming little place. Never even noticed it before.
I've heard the manager/owner is a great guy.
Terry's wonderful. The food just looks clean. All the servers, no open sores. It's tremendous.
Never gotten diarrhea here ever.
Nope. I never met this girl, Jessie Kurzinski. But what I can tell you is this story is crazy. That we know, lady. Mm-hmm. Anybody who has a brain can tell you this girl didn't do it. And what those jurors didn't hear or what the judge didn't allow makes no sense. You're talking about this girl's whole life because Lynn took her own. By the way, there's a lot of like spelling errors and grammar errors, like no apostrophe where it belongs. Sure. And in her other letters that are not like that. And we'll talk about that too at the end of this. What the judge didn't allow, this girl's whole life because Lynn took her own life. How is that murder? This was a total setup if I ever saw one by Waukesha County. Well, I spent 3 days in the park, Whitehall Park. Why the detectives never took her to the park, they yelled at her repeatedly about not understanding why she wouldn't tell them if she had evidence. So she does, and they don't even take her with them. Again, are you serious? I can't even fathom how a jury convicted her on what? Lies, really. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make you a murderer. Point being, after digging around for 3 days, I found her evidence and sent the tape cassette plus papers to the judge in this case, Darrow. The bottles of Visine and a piece of gum have no something, so I can't read what that is. No barring, no baiting, no something. So I didn't include, but this girl is to be sentenced to life for a crime that never happened, that she didn't do. I enclosed a copy of letters for you, but what I want to know is, what are you going to do about this? Right. Then, under that, Jesse writes with an asterisk, next to it. Burn, destroy all papers when done. Do not talk about on phone or visit. Make only one tape for Darrow, the judge, if you can copy others, if you can copy the other pages for everyone and her too. Send letters and letter to, and then the full list again of these people. Wear gloves for all!
Oh!
Exclamation point.
Make sure
this is a crime tutorial.
Yeah, make sure you're just helping.
She said, "This is my fight and chance to stir the pot. Will you help me? I will never say a word, and I will give you a chunk of my money when I get out. Because it's a big favor, and if not, I understand, really." Okay. And she says, "This is what you want to say on the tape recording."
Here we go.
This is in your raspiest old smoker voice. "Jesse, I am sorry to leave you like this, and I am assuming you'll be the one to find me after all you've done for me all the times you saved my life. I know if it wasn't for you, I would have been dead months ago, and you have been my rock. You're stronger than anyone I know." She's about to say, "You're also very pretty. Your breasts are supple and perky. You're the smartest person I've ever met." This is like...
When you lift your arms, you have no bingo wings. It's
none
amazing.
of that shit at all. My God, I wish I had an ass like yours. She said, "I know if it wasn't for you, I would have been dead months ago. You've been my rock. You're stronger than anyone I know. And now I need you to take care of your mom, for I know your dad, all you could keep me alive as long as you could. I no longer recognize myself. I'm sick of being sick, complaining about being sick, and just sick of it all. I want to be free from the pain, and this is my time. I love you and your mom very much. Take care of each other. I'm following the yellow brick road to see my dad." See, put a Wizard of Oz reference in there. "Jesse, stop listening to this tape and put it somewhere safe and hidden." Like, she's talking to Jesse because she's in the room.
Jesse, put this away. There's no place like home.
Then she says, and she clicked her heels together 3 times. And she says, "Lynn Hernan, being of sound mind and body, want to state I'm recording this statement today on Sunday, October 1st, 2018. I've been sick long enough, seen doctors to know that I will never be the same, and I no longer want to live my life as it is. I've done things I cannot take back. I took a life that I had no right to do." They have her confessing to murdering her mother in this. This is so fucked up.
Framing a dead person for murder.
Wow. 2 murders, one of her own too, of herself and her mom. "I'm choosing on my own free will and on my own time frame to take my own life. I've tried more options than most, from purchasing a gun, overuse of medications, to poisons. I assumed poisons would be the fastest and easiest. Little did I know it would be just as hard. Visine is the one I stumbled across prior and have tried without success, but ended up using it for almost 3 months." Or whatever. She should just put, or whatever Jesse says I did, pretty much. "The way it makes me feel is something indescribable. My body is not, it sounds like you're on mushrooms. No, this is Visine. If that were true, kids would be taking so much Visine they'd be sucking on at bottles.
The marijuana
like
market
$6
would be bottomed out. Visine's so cheap.
All the drugs. No more psychedelics. This would be amazing. "My body is numb. I feel no pain from my constant pain, and it makes me tired where I kind of sleep. I haven't experienced in years. I became quite fond of it, and it was a new medication to me." It's not a medication. "I enjoy my medications, and now Visine is one of them. At first, I was drinking a bottle almost daily mixed with my water or vodka. Then I increased over time, was purchasing Visine on my own for a month until I could no longer drive or shop. I did stock up on it and had my caretaker, Jessie. She did not know what I was doing until recently. Jessie is the one person who knows everything I have went through, in and out, except my mother's death. Seen all the good and bad. She's been there when I fell in the middle of the night, shit on myself, or Unbelievable, dude. This is ridiculous.
Make her admit to murder, admit to suicide, and then strip her of dignity and tell everybody how much she used herself as a toilet.
Oh, my God. Or puked and came to.
Oh, my God.
Or puked and came to clean. It up. She has caught me in the act of trying to take my own life. She's seen me at my worst and there regardless. I owe her everything for all she's done. Her mother's my best friend, and Jessie is my only family left and mean more to me than I know. I did the unthinkable to Jessie, and it ruined her for months. I lied to her, and I made her lie to everyone in the process, and it destroyed her. She knew I was suicidal, but I told her I was sick and dying from colon cancer. I didn't want to see people or talk to them, so I had Jessie lie to everyone and didn't want anyone to know. The truth was I wasn't sick with colon cancer or dying. One afternoon, Jessie came to check on me as her usual and caught me with unexpectedly while I had a gun to my head. She screamed at me, crying that when I came clean with her about not having cancer and lying. I lied to her because she was concerned about being me being suicidal, and saying I was sick was easier to do. I'd never seen her so hurt, so I lied to everyone. She knew I didn't know what to do now. She told me I was either going to get help and go to the hospital, or she was calling the cops.
Okay.
I let her take me to Aurora Waukesha Hospital the next morning, where they admitted me, and I stayed for weeks. I wanted to get better for her, but the deep down decision was made long ago, and I cannot go on anymore. My mom's death haunts me daily. Because I killed her and all.
Yeah.
I tried to take my life twice while in the hospital and had a camera put in my room. After arriving home from the hospital, Jessie stayed the weekend, and per my discharge, I was to get home care that week. I had planned in different ideas, but Jessie didn't let me be alone. Ending the weekend came and went, and now it's today, Sunday morning. Took my remaining Visine bottles and put them into my last water bottles. I have stashed Visine for months and been emptying it over time into water bottles, and now have 3 bottles full with only Visine. Over 30 bottles. That takes 30 bottles of Visine, in case you're wondering. Okay. And we'll start, because I think it's a half ounce in there or something.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's a little drop.
It's like 0.8 milliliters.
Because you use a drop, 2 drops at a time. And we'll start drinking those tomorrow along with my medications. I'm hoping by drinking an extreme amount, this will work as planned. I'm choosing this on my own terms and how I see fit. No one played any part in this decision or acted on it. I chose to drink Visine and end my life. Look into my mom's death to better understand. I came into this world fighting like hell and lived a good life, and I'm going out of the world on my own terms, and will see my dad again. I would like it known that Jessie and Jenny are in charge of my final wishes, as they know where the paperwork is and what to do. I want to make sure it is known. And then she's got an arrow pointing up and an asterisk saying, just end it like it was still recording, or like she screwed up, like there's more, but that's all we need. So she said, just like end it mid-sentence, like something happened to the tape, or she, fell over.
But thank God, because we got everything.
We got everything. So then she goes on to give instructions of then find a notary company that will allow sample or void with wording in the background. Look around. You will find once you do, copy and paste and change paper and printer. And it's the thing of how to make it look, how to make forge a fucking document.
Sure.
And she then goes on to have a whole letter here. And then she says there's a lot of misspellings and grammar errors. It's okay for it to be like that. Because she has a letter that she wrote too, saying that, here it is. Okay. Lynn Hernan, loving daughter of Bob and Lorraine Hernan. Like she wrote her own fucking, her own thing here, her own obituary. Yeah. And she goes on to that. She wrote the obituary. She said, make that. Then she says, this is a Lynn writing this letter. I need to get something off my shoulders. The guilt has been weighing heavy on me. On Saturday, November 30th, 2013, my mom, Lorraine Marie, Herndon, passed away just shy of her 86th birthday at St. Mary's Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin. Prior to her death, her health was declining with her memory. It was no secret we had a very toxic relationship. We had been through thick and thin and everything in between. She forgot everything but found out that I had been, quote, helping myself to her money and changed her will to cut me out, and she was leaving everything to her best friend and neighbor, Bonnie. I took matters into my own hands, something her spiking her tea with Visine bottles as seen on TV.
Uh-huh.
I understand I had no right, and it haunts me, possibly more than I realize, as I'm starting to worry. I stopped after a night of partying too hard, and I told Kevin I've paid secretly for his silence ever since. I'm too afraid of spending my life in prison. I will never forget how bad it was. I cannot, will not, no matter what, ever go back. I'm so sorry, Mom. Forgive me. Signed, Lynn Herndon. Now look at how she writes this letter. She changed.
Oh, wow.
She changed her handwriting fucking completely.
That's fucked up.
Look at that, dude. She is just. Look at that. That's another. Look, here's another one of her handwriting.
That's psychotic,
dude.
That shit is like the inside
different
of
people.
Yeah, that's like the inside of a psychopath's mind. That page.
It's the whole
all
thing.
The scribbles and side notes and corrections. Jesus fuck.
Oh my God. Then she said that she like her will here, kind of what she said before. Write this out. I helped care for my mom. That was my downfall. Blah blah blah. Then she goes into there are no issues later on. This is her final wishes. Mm-hmm. Jenny, I helped when Jesse was in prison and out of work. I owed her from years ago when she helped me. It was the least I could do. I helped her on and off, rent, bills. She was given a charge, etc. On 3/11/215, $5,000 direct from lockbox. So Jesse, money, and property while in prison, because I know firsthand and so much after. I helped with debts, rebuild a lot. She also helped me, and it went both ways. And then says, went both ways was a big one, long story. There's so much I will be doing for both Jenny and Jesse before I check out. This is fucking amazing. Jim, that's her friend, was given and also loaned money when he lost his grandma's house to foreclosure. He had no job, no place to live, so I helped, but it was never enough. Linda drank more away. I loaned him money for bail, fines. He got me to that courthouse when I was afraid to step foot in the door, but he needed, I helped. Motels, hotels, bills, down payment on his house, money toward a pool.
Useless motherfucker.
Useless shit. He, to date, hasn't made a dent in paying back. It pisses me off, and he knows it, and he's well over $25,000 that he got in total to date, and then dates with the times and withdrawals and all that. Keith, I gave money when he needed, but that was between us and was from cash, so it didn't go through the bank. Kevin, my mistake of all mistakes, who got most, all to keep him quiet. Quite, though. He took everything and even more. The best part was his death, but it was too late by then. He got my lockbox stash of cash at the house, withdrawals of thousands at a time from the bank, even more cash, all the checks written as to cover Jesse, long story, in parentheses. He got all the checks written to cover were written to Jesse. So Jesse didn't steal the money. It was this guy scamming, but he's dead.
I gave it to her,
Yeah. Wow. He got jewelry. I gave all I had. I will never let anyone take years from me or send me back to that hellhole. So did what I had to. Over $200,000. The money is running dry as of today, Thursday, February 1st, 2018. My money is depleted, under $25,000 in all accounts. It will be gone like before the year is over. I will spend it and give it away, including my credit cards. I don't want a dime left for creditors, medical, state to take. I'm going to meet with Mr. Diaz at BMO Bank today on loan and to notarize documents. I will be making changes for final wishes due to my short-planned future. I'm changing my living will to say Jesse and Jenny, and my last will and testament to Jenny from Anthony and Jesse. Jenny will give Jesse money. I don't want her probation agent to get it for restitution for her last crime.
But don't worry, I'm going to die with nothing, so it's fine.
I'll die with nothing, but I want to make sure that she doesn't get it taken. I want those two, Jenny and Jesse, to get everything because they're around the most and they need it. Versus Corrine and Anthony, they come from a different world. I will always love them and they are my family, but we aren't as close as we used to be. Things change, people change. That's life. So she's singing multiple songs there.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a friend. People change. Yeah. She's got that shit. Tupac changes and Frank Sinatra. That's life. She got them all mixed up into there.
I am mad at you.
So she signed I am mad at you. She's got her last will and testament here. Yeah. She's got all of her fucking shit going on. Okay. She gives away her stuff here too. gets 2 antique pictures in hallway for Diana Lang, mom's great-grandma. Keith Lang gets Richland Place Center picture glass. Jim, her friend Jim there, in china cabinet. Crazy 8-ball and ashtray, your grandma's champagne glass. Yeah, you owe me tons. Crazy 8-ball. You're fucking right.
She's giving away everything. Jim gets my Uno game.
Oh, yeah. That's what it is. Corinne Patza, hat, pin, glass, shot glasses, and any clothes or shoes you want.
Anything
have my old shoes. They have shit on them, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Anthony Potts, I originally said Jesse got the Wizard of Oz memorabilia, but it was you who got most of it. So anyway, you have first pick anything of my dad's you'd like. Stephen Patza, Bubula, I thought maybe you'd like the old school pinball game. And it goes on from there. Jesse, Marilyn posters, you loved them. Mom's charm bracelet. Right. Jesse's mom gets 2016 Jeep. Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah. A purse, sequin reel, swan ashtrays, stork ashtrays, bird cage looking lamp, gold cross with ashes. That way we'll always be swimming together. Okay, now, this letter comes out. Her attorneys said, we're done. Fuck you. They said, we didn't take any letter anywhere, and you're sending this out. Basically,
right.
you're accusing us of a
Incriminating
crime.
us. Yeah.
We're not your attorney anymore. Fuck you. So they want to withdraw due to that. So prosecutors filed an objection to the motions to withdraw. But they said in evaluating both motions to withdraw, the state feels it's necessary to focus on the apparent driving force behind these motions to withdraw and says this was one of my attorney's ideas referenced in the letter. However, the state will argue that these materials were authored by Jessie for purposes of the attorneys to be able to continue representing her. It's important to note that Jessie, in numerous recorded phone calls, has continually denied writing those materials and denied having any idea what they are or who authored them. Mm-hmm. Jessie denies she wrote any of this.
Amazing.
Nobody else on earth knew any of those details
right.
and all those details. It's
Nobody
crazy.
knows this person.
It's fucking crazy. And also, we'll find out that she definitely did write it, too. The state also argues that taking both attorneys off the case would deprive her of legal representation at a key point in the case and would delay sentencing several months.
Sure.
Now, Jessie says that the county is setting her up with that letter.
Oh, really?
And she wrote a 26-page letter to the judge explaining that we will not read because
26
we've
pages.
read enough.
Jesus,
26 pages. Okay, that was 37 pages she sent to her friend.
She has got a lot to say.
You're not a lot to do in jail. So she expressed frustration at a motion hearing with her two attorneys for not being in contact with her in the week leading up to her sentencing. She made a list of 16 claims and stated she believed she was set up by the county with those letters and will be requesting a mistrial.
Okay.
She wrote in this, I figure it's as good a time as any to put out all the issues, and there are a lot. She wrote the defense was not allowed to bring up Lynn's drinking and time in prison or her mom's death. She claimed that Lynn had written that she spiked her own mother's drink with eye drops and was haunted by what she did. She also alleges that the defense was not allowed to question Detective Aaron Hope, who allegedly looked into Hernan's mother's death. According to Jessie, he never followed up on retrieving additional medical records. This was an extremely detrimental to my defense, and again, it isn't a small charge. We're talking about a charge that causes a life sentence.
Sure.
So she went on to claim all this shit. They claim she claims that John Fryatt, a cousin of Lynn's, had involvement with the Waukesha County detectives and the medical examiner's office and was told he owes them a favor for framing her. According to this letter, Fryatt had looked her up in Wisconsin Circuit Court access and said it was odd that Lynn's heir had a record saying it doesn't pass the smell test. She wrote that Fryatt didn't know Lynn or have a relationship with her, but knew she was a drunk. Jessie also wrote that she knew the medical examiner and knew that he and the medical examiner were on the same team as the detectives. And because of this, Jessie claims she should have a change of venue, although it's unknown where she heard the alleged comments. She also accused the judge herself of bias, saying the deputy jail administrator was lying and that she didn't have proper access to security for her documents and evidence. She said, quote, I was not happy with my trial or defense. She wasn't happy with losing is what she wasn't happy with.
I mean, you're not happy that you're in prison. That's the thing.
Yeah. With all this happening, I strongly believe this county is setting me up. This seems like a big conspiracy. I no longer trust anyone.
Have you guys heard of
Holy shit.
Making a Murderer? That's what they did to me.
In Wisconsin. Same thing.
Same place.
Then the night before her sentencing, she calls the media up and does a thing.
Oh, what?
Night before her sentencing.
Uh-huh.
She said, quote, nobody got to know the Lynn I knew, the Lynn that I was there for and worked for daily, the Lynn that was my family and that I loved and cared for. I could no longer wait. It's time to speak. I cannot be silent. Lynn took her own life because she was troubled by what she did to her mom. Now she's going to publicly besmirch her. She said that in her own letter that, again, were in court. The letter that she wrote, by the way, you wrote. Both of my attorneys are still listed on record, so legally I cannot speak to any other attorney, nor will they speak to me. I sit in limbo. I need to know my legal rights. Well, next day is sentencing. She's going to find out a lot.
You're going to find out all your rights.
Oh, yeah. Jim Kelleher says, quote, Jesse poisoned Lynn like she was a rodent. The devil awaits you. I hope you rot in hell. Lynn Hernan is an angel in heaven. May you rest in peace, Lynn. You're dearly missed and always will be. I'm so very sorry. So they then show, by the way, the videotape recorded in jail days before the letter was turned over to the authorities. This shows her putting a large bunch of papers into an envelope and leaving it on the bed of another inmate who later takes it somewhere else because it's a person that takes it places. So the judge says to her, this is your opportunity to address the court. Anything you'd like to say? Yeah. She talks for 2 hours.
Wow.
Or an hour 45 or some crazy shit.
Holy shit.
Never shut the fuck up. I'm innocent. I was her best friend. We'll give a short snip here. Quote, let's be very clear here. There was no murder.
Okay.
I did not commit murder. I did not poison Lynn, give her pills or anything else. It is a lot to be accused and convicted of murder when I didn't do it. Then she starts crying, of course. You're holding me responsible for what she did. Those are her decisions, her choices, her actions, and no one else's, not even mine.
Okay.
Then she says, I will not stop fighting. And she says she does not have faith in the justice system, but does have a faith in God. She says, as God is my witness, this case is far from over.
Oh, boy.
The judge goes, well, I'm about to bang the gavel, so
I'm going to end it right now.
God's going to watch us end this fucking case.
Yeah.
The judge said, I believe Lynn's death was premeditated. The judge said tetrahydrozoline was not something we expected to find, and I do believe it was something you, Miss Kurzewski, whatever the fuck your name is, banked on no one testing for. I have to ask out loud, it's in a rhetorical question, but were you poisoning Lynn Hernan all along following your release from prison? Jessie says no. She shouts no. The judge says, I'm not asking for an answer.
I don't need you to talk.
This is my time.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. She's going to tell her kid that later on when she's sitting with a glass of wine. This is mom's time now. No. So do not interrupt me. You took away future memories, birthdays, luncheons, phone calls. I think you thought you were a very good thief and can get away with even more. She said, I'm sure everyone has some redeeming qualities, including you, but she also let her opinion be known. She said, I think you're completely diabolical. You have evil in your heart. You, ma'am, may fuck off. Life in prison on the homicide charge, with parole, though.
Okay.
And 10 years for the two theft charges. The soonest she could be paroled would be after 40 years when she'd be about 80 years old.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she is fucked. And the judge says, I think 30 years is a significant amount of time, but my target is really for you. The judge said. She said, making you eligible for parole close to 80, older than what the victim would be today. And also, by the way, restitution is set at $380,000.
Who's she paying that to?
With an additional $16,000 owed to cover the cost of state witnesses in the trial. Keep on keeping on. And that is Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Holy shit,
work,
you guys. Wow. That is fucking bonkers. Holy shit. So that's one of the craziest stories we've ever told.
She's verbose as fuck, so she's going to write a book of some sort.
She keeps talking. There's so much of her.
Yeah.
If you watch the trial, she's talks. I can't believe she didn't testify. I'm honestly shocked because she's like a Sarah Boone that would want to get it out there, but Sarah Boone didn't testify either. So either way, There you go. If you enjoy that, tell the world about it. Get on whatever app you're on. Give us 5 stars. Say something nice. It helps drive the show up the charts, and obviously that takes a lot to put together. So that helps. It takes 2 seconds to do. Tell your friends. Post on social media. Also, definitely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets for live shows. May is our next dates here, where we have St. Louis and Chicago. St. Louis is just about sold out. So if you want to get in there, do it right this minute. Chicago, get in there too. So get your tickets right now. We have like 4 shows that are either sold out or almost sold out after that too. So there's like 8 left. So if you want to get in there, get in there and get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also follow on social media at Small Town Murder on Instagram, Small Town Pod on Facebook. You definitely want to get Patreon. Patreon.com/crime in sports is where you get all of the bonus material. $5 a month or above will get you immediately hundreds of bonus episodes you've never heard before. And then all of it from there on as well. Every other week, you get 1 crime in sports, 1 small town murder as new ones, and you get it all. This week, what we're going to talk about for crime in sports, you definitely don't have to like sports for this. Disasters, hot air balloons, amusement parks, industrial, a disaster potpourri, if you will.
We've heard of it.
Everywhere. Then for small town murder, when psychics actually succeeded. Some lady came in with some crazy hat on her head and was like, I think they're buried over here. And they were. So that happens sometimes. We'll talk all about that. Arrest you right now. Let's get your fingerprints and DNA in here. So that is patreon.com/crime in sports and crime in sports, that is, by the way. And you get a shout out, which happens right now. Jimmy, hit me with the names of the most wonderful fucking people who would never, ever, ever poison us for years with Visine and try to take everything we own. Hit me with them right fucking now.
This week's executive producers are Gary Howard, Jordan Bennett. Jordan Bennett and Simon, they're on their way back to England.
Yes, thank you for coming to the show, guys. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
That was very nice. Neil and Blow Me, James. Neil and Blow Me is having a lovely day.
Neil and Blow Me, that's good. Oh, that's very nice. It's very clever.
They think that I didn't want. They for sure know that I knew that, right?
I would hope so.
They didn't think they were going to get by.
You've seen an Andrew Dice Clay act from 1987, so yeah, you probably have.
Tara Lathan, a little turpentine will do the trick, James. That's
cool.
A Captain Ron joke.
Yes, I know. Yeah, well, turpentine.
Stephanie Chatton maybe. Danae Lynn. Thank you, Danae. Good to see you. Other producers this week are Happy Hour in Conroe, Texas. Checking in. Good to see you, Happy Hour. Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadows, Janice Hill, Tiffany Gonzalez, Seda Morris, Jen with 2 N's. No last name.
People.
Alicia
good
Sanders.
People.
Yeah, they're terrific people.
Goddamn good people. Sorry.
Mindy Bibert. Boyo Nasty. What? Okay. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Brielle Hurd. Amendola with no last name. Amandola.
I would think that is last name.
Amendola is certainly a last name.
Hope it's not a first name.
It might be Amandola. Chandler Jensen. Zachary McAdam. Brandy Corn Probst. Corn Probst. Corn like the band, Probst like the host of fucking Survivor. Beck J. Matthew Graff. Santa Ferrets, Michelle, Mishaelle. That is not Michelle. Whoa. Stop it. Wow. Your mom is so mean. Gap 7, John Villa, Amber with no last name, Liam Ostrander, Michael Ryan, Anthony Logalbo, Anthony, that's a tough one. Carrie Kelly, Emily with no last name, Courtney Dashner, Samantha Beechler, Amanda Martinez, Blake Zerbies, Olivia Aturio, Carrie Redman, Amy Pearl, Mike on a horse with no last name. Okay, he has no last name.
He's on a horse. Him or the horse? The horse has no name, or does he?
Brittany Giner.
Okay.
Son of a bitch. That's
right in the Giner.
I don't like that at all. Sarah with no last name. Peggy Johnson, Amber Jackson, Nathan Couch, Sabrina McCracken, Sarah Drulow, Jeff Moose White, Mackenzie Adams, Jeff Simpson, Ebrook 16, Adam with no last name, Eric Linville, Golden Roses, Not All Bitches Wear Capes. Okay. Jim Jam, Marsha Gleason, Nicole Haliko, Misha Robinson, Louise Meeks, James Bruce, Jay Brooks. Is that Josh Brooks? Perhaps. Maybe just Jay Brooks, Danny with no last name, Keith Wilson, C.H., the letters C and H, Chili Willie, Josh Rhea perhaps, Morgan Olson, Jennifer Stringer, K, this show brought to you by the letter K, Karen Bamford, Laura Lavoie, Cheryl Brandez, Paula Ricard, Adam Schaefer, Justine with no last name, Luis Muirhead, Chris Drew Carey, I don't believe you, a crooked Pinky, M with no last name, Johnny Jones, I don't know, Nikki Marie, Quentin with no last name, Ruben Revelis, Sam Ellis, Chris Cozzolino, Alexandria Wertelka. Fucking wow. G with no last name. Sky with no last name. Sarah T. Monica Horton. Jill Kelly. Best Little Cat House in Nebraska. Is Wyoming close to? It is close to Nebraska.
Yeah, they're connected, I think.
Do they touch? Is there a cat house there?
Yeah, you can drive across Wyoming and through the Nebraska because it doesn't.
Can you get in Nebraska? I don't know.
I think so.
That's great. Qualifying Kenny. Qualifying? Great. Is that a... Okay.
Okay.
All right. Melanie Buckley, Christina Plyler, Billy White, Casey with no last name, Jennifer Cox, Jeff DeBuine, Jason with no last name, Jason
absolutely
Cecil, also
connected to Nebraska, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if it's legal.
I've driven through there, all the way through. Yeah.
Igor, holy fuck,
wow, that's a weird name.
Shvijanov. CV.
Go with holy
Shvi,
fuck
right?
is your name, I think. That's easier for people. I said go with holy fuck. That was easier for Jimmy to pronounce.
Igor. It's pronounced Igor. Jessica Vandervelt. Michaela Hansen, Jacob Gonzalez, James with no last name, A. Bell, Will Hung, I hope, is that William? No fucking way that's the real guy. Beth Sylvie, Shannon Poole, Electric Diva Creations.com, Michelle Gulch, Emily Bulkeely, Catherine Vogler maybe, Corey with no last name, Chris C., Alexandra Wong, Rachel Gaziel, Karen Ruth, Carson Osterhout, Laura Myers, Becky Sargent, Samantha Hercules, Charles Withrow, Carolyn with no last name, Maris Lohr, Jessica Johnson, Andrew with no last name, K, the letter K, Emily Garcia, Christine Struzzi, Rob Heyer, John James Webb, Sarah with no last name, Olivia Christensen, Paul Caracato, Sabrina M, Sabrina Harvey, Peter Reynolds, Chris with no last name, Alicia Porter, Christina Riesbeck, Elisa Schramm, Only Zeki, Jaylyn with no last name, Rose with no last name, Mike, M-E-I-K-E, is that Meek? Mike? Jolivet, that's a foreign name. Laura with no last name, Amy DeBroom, Shannon Sullivan, Kara Shocks, Libby Kilgore, and all of our patrons, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, so much.
Wow.
You fantastic, diabolical bastards who don't have evil in your heart. We love you so much. Thank you for all that you do for us. And thanks for keep coming back every week. Tell your friends. Keep doing it. You want to follow us on social media, drop down menu at shutupandgivememurder.com. We'll take you there. Otherwise, until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.